Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
Join We've Got You Covered with Scott Schrader every Saturday from 10 to 11 on Nooga Radio. From finance to fixtures, we discuss everything you need to know about buying or owning a home, the pitfalls, the perks, and everything in between. Saturday mornings, 10 to 12, right here on Nooga Radio.
Join Nooga Radio 92.7 FM on Wednesday, October 17th at the Hickson Walmart, as we will be broadcasting live from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., collecting donations for the Salvation Army and its emergency disaster relief efforts for families displaced by Hurricane Michael. Stop by the Walmart location just off Route 153 in Hickson with your cash donation, or drop off supplies to our canopy underneath the Walmart logo in front of the store. 100% of all donations go to these relief efforts. Nooga Radio 92.7 FM wants to thank the following partners: Super Connoisseria Loas, Apollo Hair Systems of Eastridge, Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, Sport Clips of Hamilton Place, and Chattanooga Roofing Contractors. Make a difference in the time of need. The Nooga Radio 92.7 FM Hurricane Michael Disaster Relief live broadcast Wednesday, October 17th from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Hickson Walmart, from your friends at Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
There goes the neighborhood. There goes the neighborhood.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Boris. Just tell us quickly about, Kreider Landscaping. Tell us about the company, about what you guys do, what you do well.
All right. Well, I'm the operations manager. John Kreider is the owner, and he's been based out of Saudi Daisy, been mowing yards and taking care of people's yards for about 15 years now, from about the time he was about 16 years old. So, and I am a licensed and certified spray technician, and I've been spraying yards for multiple companies here in the Chattanooga area for about little over 3 years now.
Awesome. Spray technician. So what is that? What exactly is a spray technician? What are you spraying for?
So I took a course at UTK, and I got certified for spraying commercial grade, what they call RUPs, which is restricted use pesticides. And that just pretty much means that it's a really heavy concentrate. You got to kind of know how to deal with it. You got to know how to keep your body safe and the environment safe, and I spray herbicides, pesticides,
Yeah. Well, fall is finally upon us.
Yes, it was fantastic. Yesterday morning, I finally could throw on a sweater.
I actually went out to the old McDonald farm yesterday with my daughter. She had a field trip.
Okay.
And for the first time, we were actually cold.
Yeah.
I put on shorts and was like an idiot out there freezing my butt off. But everybody else was out there in jeans and jackets, and here I am without a jacket, without pants, and I'm freezing. I'm thinking, wow, fall hit us real hard.
Yeah, you're starting to shiver a little bit. And,
yeah. So my idea for bringing you in today was just to talk about, fall is a big deal in lawn maintenance and in landscaping. In general, from my understanding, it's, the things that you do now to your yard that make a big difference to what your yard's going to look like next spring and summer. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of grass types actually go dormant in the winter. That's why you have a lot of darker brown looking yards. It's because the grass has actually gone to sleep for the winter, kind of hibernating like bears and a lot of our furry friends out in there. But also, it is true. A lot of what you do right now to prep your yard for the fall is really crucial to having a healthy yard in the spring and the summer. Have a nice green yard in the spring and summer, especially things like cleaning up your leaves, making sure you mulch and bag your mulch clippings. If you want to keep weeds away, keep insects like mosquitoes away, and a lot of things like that. And plus, it just makes your yard look a lot more better from the curb.
Yeah, for sure. So you drive through neighborhoods and you see some yards that are obviously standing out. They're just so much better than the others.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
then you see some that are just an absolute wreck.
Yeah.
And it's usually the stuff that they're doing right now that makes a big difference. Tell us some of the very specific things that you guys are doing, and maybe some of the things that people can do on their own that can make a huge difference.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, one of our biggest things is aeration and overseeds. Now, this is a topic that is kind of, up for debate a lot in the landscaping community, just because people go by a calendar date more than they do the weather.
Mhm.
So here in Chattanooga, we have weather, all kinds of weather all the time. And last season we were in December wearing shorts and t-shirts still, so the most important thing is you got to make sure that it's not too hot. I know a lot of people wanted to get their aerations done in the month of September. A lot of stores actually tell people that's one of the best times to do it by the end of December. And that's true, because a lot of places it's a lot cooler I'm sorry, I said December.
That's okay.
At the end of September. But right now, really, it was really hot towards the end of last month. So
Even last week.
Yeah,
it
even
was
last
90
week.
plus degrees last week.
Exactly. So people are getting aerations and overseeds done, and it's helping. It's germinating a little bit. But if they kind of keep in tune with the weather, we just had a big rain, so that helped their aerations and overseeds get moist. But right now, if you still have about, we have a cold snap now, so you kind of want to wait till it warms up just a hair more. But really, this cold weather came in so fast, I don't know how long it's gonna be. But you kind of want to be wrapping up your aeration and overseed, get your seed on the ground, definitely start.
So we got a window
Yeah,
of maybe a couple weeks, especially in the area that we're at. I mean, we go from summer to winter really fast.
Exactly.
So you got to get the aeration done, which, if for those of you that don't know what aeration is, it's a big heavy machine. You basically run over your yard and it plucks big holes out of your ground, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. There's some aeration machines that actually pull out up to 6-inch plugs, which is what we were running last week.
Yeah.
We got some yards done, and people were really surprised that they haven't seen plugs being pulled that deep. But really, you want to get past your thatch layer in your yard, and you want to get down into the topsoil, bring those nutrients up to the top of your yard, and then that's a good place to lay some seed and get nice healthy grass.
Yeah, I saw some pictures you guys were posting online, and the plugs were as big as your hand.
Yeah,
and it's
definitely.
unbelievable. You just think that the idea is that you're basically digging a big hole, or a small holes, lots of thousands of tiny holes in your yard, and pulling out those nutrients that are down in the very bottom. And you're not supposed to rake up the plugs, right? You're supposed to leave them there.
You're supposed to leave them there. And like I said, those will dissolve with the rain. And
They look a
weather.
little crazy for a little while, but
Yeah, and it kind of gets, caked up on the bottom of your shoe. Try not to walk in your yard, whatever. But it's only temporary. It looks kind of like a mess at the beginning, but in due time and with patience and a little bit of watering, you're going to have a nice, cute little sprigs up in your yard.
Yeah.
And it looks awesome.
So then after you dig up these big holes, you're then going the same day back and putting pounds of seed right back in the same places, so that it goes down in those holes and is beginning to start a new base layer of grass, right?
Yeah, definitely. Most yards in Chattanooga can take up to 50 pounds of seed, just to get a decent coverage in the front yard. Most yards is the backyard. But yeah, we offer the aeration and we offer the seeding as well. Just kind of to follow up the same day, make sure you get good seed to soil contact and things like that.
I think one of the biggest misconceptions in landscaping and lawn maintenance in general is that putting a bunch of chemicals on your yard is the best thing for it. When in reality, having a good solid foundation of grass and a good turf is really the best thing to prevent weeds, right?
Yeah, definitely. And it goes right back to the little maintenance things that you do, especially right now in the fall. It just keeping your yard healthy is just as much as keeping yourself healthy. I mean, if you want a good yard, you're going to have to put a little bit of effort into being out there and taking the time sometime throughout the week to take care of the little details to make sure you have a healthy yard.
So let's just pretend that I want to do this myself. Obviously, you guys want to help out as much as possible, but you can't get to everybody.
Yeah.
Let's pretend I want to do this myself. I want to go out and I want to aerate and I want to overseed. Is there anything else that I need to know while I'm doing this process to kind of help and make sure that I'm doing this correctly? Do I need fertilizer? What else do I need to do?
So a lot of people will put a starter fertilizer down with it. I recommend that you let it germinate a little bit before you put down a starter fertilizer, just because you don't want to, like you said, harm your new grass with chemical right after it. And fertilizer is, not necessarily a chemical that you can mix up or whatever, but it does break down into your soil and it goes through your root system. So I would wait, once you get a little germination, definitely put some fertilizer on there. But other than that, it's really straightforward. The machine will jar you a little bit. You'll be a little shook up at the end of the day, but you can definitely do it yourself. Make sure you follow through. Try and run straight lines, because once that stuff starts germinating, you'll see if you kind of took a little curve to the left or curve to the right, you'll definitely see your little grow line, kind of curve with it.
And make sure you're getting overlapping patterns, right?
Yeah, you definitely want to overlap at least 1 or 2 runs. I guess runs, they're about an inch apart, so get overlap at least 1 run to make sure you get good coverage.
If you miss a spot, you're going to wind up seeing a real nice little dead spot right in the middle that didn't have good grass.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Other things. So after you plant and after you let it grow for a little bit, protecting that new germination, should we continue to mow? And how long should we continue to mow, or when should we stop?
So after your aeration and seeding, you're going to have a 2 week to where it's going to start sprouting. After that, really, the grass is really fragile. It's just like laying sod. If anyone's ever dealt with sod, you're putting just pretty much squares of grass on your yard. So you kind of want to give it some time to take root and to be a little bit stronger. So I'd give it about a month, before mowing the first time, just to make sure you're not, crushing any of your seed, which will, obviously lead to dead spots and no germination. So
because we're still in mowing season, technically, right?
Technically, yes, sir. We got about 4 more weeks of mowings left. Okay.
So if you aerate and overseed right now, we're going to wait another month before we mow again? It could wind up getting real high.
Yeah, right about. That's kind of the tricky part. Yeah. Observation is obviously key with any of your lawn maintenance stuff. If you see, it needs a mowing and it's been longer than 2 weeks, because 2 weeks is really the germination window. Mm-hmm. So if you see it needing a little mow, then, use your discretion, but definitely
be careful. Don't scalp it.
Yeah. Don't scalp your yard. You
set your mower deck up real high.
Definitely want to keep it at like 3.5 inches or higher.
Awesome. Let's talk about some more fall maintenance stuff. Right now, obviously, everybody's houses are covered in leaves. We're starting to see some leaves fall. The yards are getting covered in leaves. Let's talk about weeds, or not weeds, leaves. Let's talk about that.
Leaves. Yeah, they're a huge. The color change is beautiful. Who doesn't love driving through, Saudi Daisy or somewhere off in Cleveland, and seeing all the colors change and things like that. But
Jason said he doesn't like the leaves.
No, doesn't like. Jason said he doesn't like the leaves. Yeah, it's tedious to get it cleaned up. A leaf blower will blow them up in the air and they'll fall right back down in the spot where you blew them from. But
right.
It is good to want to keep your leaves off your home, out of your gutters, out of your flower beds. Flower beds is different because they'll actually break down and create more organic material for your mulch and stuff like that to keep your plants and shrubs healthy.
So leaves are actually good for flowers.
For flowers, yeah, it gives us a good bit of nitrogen back into the soil, okay. Which leads into mulching your leaves. If you want to do that, you can definitely run over it with your lawnmower and leave it ground up. The thing about leaves is surface coverage. If it's a huge leaf and not touched, it'll hold water. It'll get moldy and slippery and just it's a mess. So
stops the grass from getting sunlight.
Getting sunlight, getting good. Like if you do an aeration and overseed, bad seed to soil contact, different things of that nature. So yeah, you definitely want to keep your leaves out of your gutters, because with the gutters, you'll have it backed up. Once it rains, you'll have dripping all over the side of your house, causing water damage. And that's a whole nother headache that you don't want to deal with.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to get into having some water damage, and leaves absolutely cause all kinds of problems to the drainage. So your recommendation is when the leaves hit the ground, get them up.
Yeah, definitely.
Either that or mow them over.
Mow them over. And like I said, that gives organic material back to the ground, back to your yard. So mow them up or back them up. I believe 311 picks up most any stuff on the side of the road like that, and brush and things like that. So
yeah, I did some personally. I went out and did some pruning the other day, and I laid a whole bunch of bushes and leaves and stuff all over the road. And for those of you that are city residents, what an incredible service that the city offers for us to be able to come by and pick that stuff up, rather than you having to bag it up and put it in your garbage cans or try to find a place to haul it off. You just line it up out by the street and call 311, or there's a 311 app actually that you can go on and submit a claim. And they'll come either that day, next day, or in the next 3 days. They're going to be there. And what I actually found pretty awesome was not only did he use his crane to pick everything up, but he got out and he raked up what he couldn't pick up with his crane and swept my sidewalk, which is incredible. I thought that was just taking it a step farther. So kudos to you, those that are running those trucks. And it's good to know that as a homeowner and a city resident that we have that service.
Definitely.
Let's talk about now. That's kind of a good segue into pruning. Let's talk about what should we do from a pruning perspective right now.
All right. So one of the biggest things, a lot of people here love their crepe myrtles. That's one of the things that makes the spring one of the best times. It's blossoming. They're all really pretty. Right now, a lot of people will chop the tops straight off of those poor trees. and we call it crepe murder.
Crepe murder. I like that.
So let's try not to do that. If you have bush form crepe myrtles, then that's totally understandable. Trim them up, keep them shaped up. Right now is a great time for pruning all your shrubs and take off all the new growth, all the little spriggy stuff. Just get a little haircut there. But with crepe myrtles, if it's a tree, you want it to grow up like a tree so you can have actual shade coverage once it's blossoming again, once it's blooming again.
So tell us, how do we do it? There's a technique called broomsticking, right?
Broomsticking, yeah. And so essentially any growth coming up out of the ground, you want to clip that near the base of the tree. You want to also clip up to 6 inches off the bottom and start from the bottom and work your way to the top. You know what I'm saying? And give it a fan effect.
Kind of creating a V from the top to the bottom.
Definitely.
You want it to be real clean at the bottom. And then obviously the little tiny new growth, get rid of that.
Exactly.
But as you go up, leave a little bit more and more. And then finally get to the top, you're not going to have any of the actual flower left. No, it's going to truly look like a witch's broom at the end of it, right?
Yeah, it does kind of chop it, make it look kind of really eerie at this time of year.
Yeah. It's a nice decoration for Halloween.
right. But also, in doing that, you must be careful. You just make sure you don't cut too much off your tree, because in the end, you want to find balance in your landscape. If you have 2 crepe myrtles and one of them near your house, you've hacked down to half the height because you can't see out of your 2nd story window or what have you, and the other one on the other side, is nice and grown up or whatever, and you've just trimmed the little edges off, it's going to look kind of funky. So you definitely want to find balance in all of your landscaping.
What about some of the other bushes? Is it bad to kind of scalp them back too far at this point? All the hollies, azaleas, those types of things. Anything we should be?
Yeah, definitely people? This time of year, you do want to cut it back, obviously, but you really don't want to take more than 6 inches off of it, because really, once you get into the undergrowth of it, then you're really going to start to harm some of your bushes, and you're going to want to be really careful with that. Because if you clip a little bit too far in just on the bottom layer, you could probably nick the base of the bush or what have you, and then you're losing a bush and you're having to go to Home Depot and all this. So you really want to be careful with how close you get, but 6 inches is about recommended fall cleanup time or length for your trimming.
Is there anything that you guys are doing for your clients right now, besides the aeration overseed, mowing, bush trimming, hedging, that maybe some people don't think about from a landscaping or a home maintenance perspective that they should be thinking about or be aware of?
Yeah, definitely with this colder weather, it's getting in the 40s, and very soon it's going to get down into the 30s, which is freezing weather. And a lot of homes around here have irrigation. Yeah. So if you have an irrigation system, you got to take care of that during the winter months too.
Let's take a pause on the winterization. I'm going to do the whole second segment is going to be about winterization and things to do to prepare your home for the winter. From a fall perspective, like what should we do? Any kind of weed maintenance? Are they all just going to die off and be done? Or
well, pretty much with the cold, a lot of the weeds, a lot of the grass is going to slow down. A lot of the weeds are going to stop growing as much. So really keep your yard. Your last mowings, get it short, especially on Bermuda types,
So everybody always says don't scalp your yard, but when you're done, like on your last mow of the year, you're going to want to cut it down pretty low.
Yeah,
right?
you're going to want to cut it down pretty low just because, it's going to allow it to actually grow a little better here once the warmer seasons come back up. It'll definitely help that. And, it'll also keep it from getting any mildews or anything like that. Any weird.
If we actually do wind up having some snow sit on the ground for a little while.
Exactly.
It helps with us. Okay.
Definitely helps it a lot.
What about like a dethatching? I've heard that word. It's kind of a buzzword, but I don't even really know what that means.
So dethatching is really cool. So over the time you have your grass mowings, clippings, leaves, all that does become organic material, and it becomes almost like a top layer on top of your dirt.
And that's not good.
That's not good. That doesn't allow, nutrients to get down into your soil or whatever. So what you want to do is you want to dethatch either with a rake or a dethatcher. A dethatcher is a little bit more of a workout, but you can get like a ball field rake,
okay,
and put it on the back of your mower and pull all that thatch is what it is. You want to pull it out.
I saw somebody doing it once, and it looked like a disaster. It looked like they were just totally destroying their yard.
Yeah, and it'll look like that, but that is also what allows, once you start mulching and doing stuff with your leaves, it'll allow that for fertilization and.
We're here. Thank you, Boris. We here on We've Got You Covered. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back.
Well, we stumbled through it, man.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes. All right. Second segment is about winterization.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
Police made an arrest in an armed robbery case from back in August where reports say a man broke into a storage unit office, threatened a man at the cash register, and then made off with a few rolls of pennies before escaping in a Grand Am. Police used fingerprint information to arrest Kerry Williams, who was already in their system. A man was shot and robbed on Bonnie Oaks Drive on Friday morning. The victim told the police he was approached by 4 different men with guns pointed at him who demanded his money. And once he handed it over, they shot him. He was left for dead on the side of the road. A 27-year-old man sits in Hamilton County Jail after a victim says that he burst into his hotel room, stabbed him, stole his watch and money from his shoe. Matthew Scott Cohen and alleged accomplice Shanna Saltzer are both taken into custody. Police say the victim of the stabbing is still in the hospital. The John Hannity Show, weekdays 3 to 6. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Let's face it, Old Faithful isn't as faithful as it used to be. Constant repairs are a hassle and can rack up quick in money and time. Landers McClarty Ford can fix that. Right now, you can get a 2016 Ford Focus, 34,000 miles, only $11,491. A 2017 Chevy Spark with only 17,000 miles for less than $12,000. A 2015 Volkswagen Jetta with less than 21,000 miles for $11,991. Yeah, browse their entire inventory of new and new-to-you cars, trucks, and SUVs online at Landers McClarty Ford of FortPayne.com. Landers McClarty Ford of Fort Payne. If you can't find your next perfect ride, they'll go find it for you. Big city selection, small town prices, friendly service, and top dollar for your trade. The savings are waiting and only a short drive away, so what are you waiting for? Get started with your personalized shopping today at Landers McClarty Ford of FortPayne.com. When it comes to family, I leave nothing to chance, including our financial future. I go to Michael Levy. He's local, takes time to know me, and helps me plan for our future. Don't put your financial future on hold. Call Michael Levy, 779-7755.
Even if you like your job, there are some things that can drive you nuts, like the anonymous coward who steals your lunch from the break room fridge, or maybe Tyler, the IT guy, who gives you that condescending look when you tell him that your computer is acting up again, as if somehow it's your fault. You put up with these clowns every single day. But what happens when you've had enough? That's the day you decide to retire. At least that's the hope, right? But will you be able to retire? Can you afford to retire? That's why you need to talk to Ron and Christy Adams at One Family Financial. They can't do anything about Cody, that moron who heats up fish in the microwave, but they can strategize with you on how to get the most out of your 401k or pension, how to grow your money without losing your shirt in the market, and how to help make your money last in retirement. Talk to Ron and Christy today about whether you'll be ready to retire when you finally had it with seeing Ethan walk out of the bathroom again without washing his hands. Gross. Call Ron and Christy Adams at One Family Financial, 423-710-2009, 423-710-2009.
Now, Rick wants you to buy on U.S. Gold American coins. Are you tired of making 1% on your investments with the banks, even 2 or 3% at best? Now, Rick wants you to buy on U.S. Gold American coins.
Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, Brainerd Road.
Man, you sure you know what you're doing?
Yeah, I worked with my dad on his truck all the time. Just one more bolt to go.
Yeah, wrong bolt. Today's truck ain't your daddy's truck. For repairs on today's vehicles, you need Amco Transmission and Total Car Care of Chattanooga on Lee Highway. Stay on the road, not in the garage. Amco Transmission on Lee Highway. Get it done the right way. The Thompson Pet way. Yeah, I just put that anyway.
Join We've Got You Covered with Scott Schrader every Saturday from 10 to 11 on Nuga Radio. From finance to fixtures, we discuss everything you need to know about buying or owning a home, the pitfalls, the perks, and everything in between. Saturday mornings, 10 to 12, right here on Nuga Radio.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
Expect some sunshine and pleasant weather out there through your afternoon. High settling into the upper 60s. Tonight, lows 50 to 53. For Sunday, more clouds will push in. Can't rule out a sprinkle. Most of it staying dry. Highs back into the 70s, upper 70s with a few late showers Monday. Get ready for the Wings Over North Georgia Air Show today and tomorrow at the Russell Regional Airport in Rome, featuring the Air Force F-22 Raptor and A-10 Warthog. For tickets, wingsovernorthgeorgia.com. And I'm Snores Gene Swirl, Chief Meteorologist, at your core.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
There goes the neighborhood. There goes the neighborhood.
We're getting into some cold weather, and we're going to start talking about some winterization to make sure that we're not going to have major issues with our irrigation systems. Well, let's just start out with general irrigation. Boris, it's my understanding that irrigation really is the most important puzzle of having a pretty lawn. Is that right?
Yeah. After doing all these services to your yard, you definitely want to get some good hydration on your yard. Who doesn't like being, quenched of their thirst, so your yard really needs some water, really needs to get some good watering, after seedings, not so much during the cold weather, obviously, but, during the spring, summer, you definitely want to get your yard watered. Irrigation is key to that. You can set your zones, set your timers. It'll turn on for you. You don't even have to be there worrying about cutting it on or off. And it's just one less thing you have to worry about.
Yeah. So I've always been one that just kind of lets Mother Nature do its job, and when you look at my yard, you can tell. And that I'm so glad to have you in here with me today because my yard looks a mess. There are some issues with it. There's weeds all over the place. There's big brown spots. I think you actually came out and looked at it the other day.
Yeah,
there's some things that really need to be done. So luckily, I have you here. Have John here to help me kind of to take care of it and get it going in the right direction. But for our listeners here, it's important for us to kind of talk about. How can you do it yourself? How can you go from the guy who just doesn't pay attention to it to maybe it takes a little bit of time and money to get it set up, but then you can turn it on autopilot. Let's talk about some of the awesome new technology, because technology in every industry has taken leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's some new technology in your industry too that can really make a difference in people's lawns, right?
Definitely. One of the cool things actually that John actually just installed on one of our clients was a Wi-Fi controller, which is really cool. So what it is, it's throwing out a signal, and it can go to your phone. You can link it up to your own Wi-Fi system, so anyone in your home could control it, or you could do it it's shooting a signal, and you can pick which device connects to it, but turn it on and off from your office in case you forget to water that day or what have you. You can set your timers at different rates, or cut on just a specific part, instead of running the whole cycle. It really helps a whole bunch.
So time is not necessarily the most important part of irrigation though, right?
No. One of the things that people do especially to set their timers on their irrigation is called the tuna can trick. So you want to eat the tuna first. Don't just put a tuna can out. You'll have a bunch of cats out in the yard. But you want to take an empty tuna can and go through your irrigation, and pretty much that's how much water your yard needs every time it gets watered. Obviously, observation again is key. That's what I like to tell people in landscaping. But if you're seeing that you're getting too much water in an area, obviously cut it back. But if that's around the recommended rate that we want to have, right, is about a tuna can full.
So right after big storms, I've seen here recently, we've had a lot of big storms this year that dumped a lot of water. And the day after, I see some irrigation systems coming on. I'm like, well, that just doesn't make any sense. It seems like they're just throwing water down the drain for no reason, because their yard does not need more water right now.
Yeah, that's definitely, you're getting a heavy saturation of rain, and your yard's getting wet 3 to 4, 5 inches deep. Can
that cause problems?
You can definitely cause yourself some fungus with that. Cause some brown patch. And then the thing about brown patches is you can treat it to where it won't spread. But things like brown patch, things like Pythium blight is another common yard fungus. Pythium blight actually spreads when you water it. So the more you water it, the worse it gets. You think you're doing yourself a service and you're spraying for it, but it loves water. But going back to any fungus damage right now would be irreparable. And also with fungus, like I was saying earlier, you can treat it, you can take care of it, but the color of your yard is pretty much gone for the season if you get it too late.
Interesting.
Yeah, you want to start fungus treatments kind of when it starts getting a little bit more humid towards the end of spring.
So they've got their sprinkler systems set up obviously on a schedule, a time schedule or a day schedule. And no matter what's going on in the environment, it's set to come on, and it's going to come on.
Right.
Quickly, is it better to turn those things on in the morning or afternoon, or?
So you want to get your yard watered kind of with the morning dew. That's the time that your yard is most receptive to nutrients, to watering. And so later on in the day, it will still help it, but because it'll get warmer, the sun's out, it's going to dry it up. You're not going to get as much water penetration as you would, if you watered it either, later on in the evening or really early in the morning. That's the prime time for watering.
Okay. So now going back to the person that's just got their irrigation system set on a timer, are there any new technologies that within the irrigation system that will actually sense the amount of water that's fallen or that your yard has gotten, maybe can turn on just this area based on how much water it's gotten, or is that just not, are we not there yet?
Yeah, there's definitely, they're called rain sensors. So pretty much anytime it fills up to a certain point, then the irrigation will cut on. But up until it's rained or whatever, it'll fill up a little thing to let it know, you know, that it's not time to turn on yet. You can definitely set that a rain sensor, or just like I said, go out in your yard and see, hey, you know, maybe I don't need to cut on my whole cycle or just leave it on autopilot for the next week or so. Kind of need to do it as needed.
I'm the kind of guy that just likes to set things up once and just kind of let it go.
And that's definitely, you know, you can definitely do that with some of the nicer controllers, but definitely the key to a healthy yard is being hands-on.
Or having somebody like you who is hands-on for me.
There you go.
Okay. So there are some irrigation systems for people like me who you can pay for it up front, and then ongoing, it's just going to kind of take care of itself.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. And having a good technician to work on that and maintenance it would definitely help a good way.
So I've got an irrigation system in my house. It's been set up and it doesn't even work. I tried to turn it on once. I don't even know how to turn it on. So I'll get you guys to come out there and fix it. But that is something you guys can do, right? Y'all know a lot about irrigation systems and can install them and also fix them if there's breakdowns. Right?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, we'll get out there in the mud so you don't have to. we'll dig up some pipe and cut and fix it however we need to. Yeah, definitely. We take care of all aspects of irrigation.
Any other last tips about irrigation besides what winterization? We'll get into winterization next, but any other tips about irrigation that you can give to people right now?
Not really. That we've covered just about all of it. You know, just keep an eye on your yard. If you know you're getting too much water, if you feel you're getting too much water, it's probably because you're watering your yard too much.
Yeah. Okay. So winterization, it's something that everybody needs to be thinking about right now for your irrigation systems if you have them. If you don't, it's actually a really good time right now to install an irrigation system, right? Because we're off peak watering season. Now's the time actually to start doing something like that, right?
Now would be a good time, definitely, because, you know, we're holding off on rain. The ground's going to be easier to get into and stuff like that.
It's not frozen yet.
No, It's not frozen yet. And that, you know, being part of the winterization thing is, you know, we could put pipes down 3-4 feet deep, but no one wants a 3 or 4 foot trench dug in their yard just for an irrigation system. Right. Not only that, it's going to skyrocket the price. You know, we're having to get bigger machines and dig deeper to where we could pick out a line, you know, dig out a line or whatever and get it done that way.
So if you're considering an irrigation system and you don't have one, now may be the time to start considering it. They have some really awesome do-it-yourself ones at your hardware stores. We can go in and it's almost a complete system. You just basically dig the trench and you plug it in, and it's a plug and play.
Yeah, definitely. I don't have irrigation in my yard, but I've been seriously considering doing something like that just because you can plug it into your wherever you plug in your water hose, and it'll shoot little heads up out of your yard. You feel fantastic because you're not having to worry about it anymore. Just cut on the water.
Or you can have somebody come out and install a professional system, which obviously long term would serve you better.
Definitely.
But most of those are made out of what, PVC pipe? Typically?
Usually, PVC pipe.
Maybe starting to get into some PEX, which is a little bit better for the winterization, but most of the time they're built out of PVC just for cost.
Yeah, definitely.
So PVC in the winter, that's kind of scary. I was driving out of my neighborhood last year. It was after a real cold night. It was probably 11, 12 o'clock after it started to warm up a little bit. And there was a geyser shooting out of one of my neighbor's yards. It was shooting straight up in the air. And I went and knocked on the lady's door and said, "Hey, you know what's going on? You know you've got water spraying from your yard." And she said, "Yeah, I called the plumber 3 hours ago and he still hadn't called me back."
Oh my gosh.
Just a quick plug for my company. I own a company called Schedule Butler. And what we do is we take inbound phone calls for small business owners like that plumber who was 3 hours and hadn't called that customer back. But not to get too much into that, but on that, for that particular call, she called him and needed him to come out and help her. She was a widow.
Yeah.
No idea what was going on or how to do anything. So I went and I turned the water off at the source so that it didn't just continue to spray. And she'd have a $500 water bill because of the spraying geyser in her yard.
Yeah,
so that's something that, surprisingly happens all the time, right?
Yeah, definitely. Just to kind of touch back on a topic a little bit earlier with the aeration and overseeds, you want to mark your irrigation system if you do have one. Mark your heads, because those tines are they spare no sprinkler head.
They're sharp.
Yeah, they'll hurt it. They'll hurt it and they'll poke a line. I accidentally, part of the job, I accidentally hit one, and the guy goes to turn his sprinkler system on, and like you said, guys are start shooting on, onto his neighbor's car, and I'm like, whoa, I that's not supposed to be like that. So we had to go back and take care of that. But yeah, you do want to.
So how do we winterize them? How do we protect those pipes from freezing and busting?
Okay, so with the winter months coming, there are a few steps that you want to take to actually take care of that, because obviously with PVC, it's got water swells and PVC is going to break.
Yeah, there's no give in PVC.
No. So with irrigation systems, around the time it starts getting cold, you want to actually obviously get all the water essentially out of your system.
How do we do that?
How do we do that? Well, there's a step-by-step process that we can do. You want to, first off, you can consider an auto drain attachment or system, but with auto drain systems, they waste water, and sometimes they fail open or fail closed, leading to standing water or high water bill, or water getting built up in your system. So if you have above ground piping, you have a reduced pressure valve or pressure vacuum breaker, and that's just some fancy irrigation piping above ground. Those are expensive parts, and it is essential that you blow out your system to make sure that you don't have any breaks in those parts, because those parts are way more expensive than just simply winterizing your system.
So turn off the water and blow out the pipes. How do we blow out the pipes?
So most home compressors, you can do that. But the reason we stress that you leave your winterization to a professional is because most of your home compressors can put out a lot of pressure, obviously. But you want to keep a kind of a constant stream of 80 PSI when you're blowing out your.
That's pretty specific.
Yeah, it's pretty specific. So you kind of have to lock it in. And also, once you get to 80 PSI on your home compressor, it probably won't maintain at that. It'll start losing pressure before it kicks back on or what have you. And that can also lead to not getting all the water out of your system. So what you want to do is definitely turn off your water at your main before you apply pressure. Provide up to 80 PSI. And then when you plug in, you want to plug in behind your backflow valve.
Okay.
Because that will actually prevent air from going back into the system.
Okay.
And that can also cause water not getting all the way out, and also hurt your backflow valve. So you remove your blowout cap and then proceed to blowing water out. So
now once all the water's out, is there anything else we need to do? Like, is there any, like in a car or motorhome, when you winterize those lines, you're supposed to blow out the water and you're supposed to put an antifreeze in the line. Are you supposed to do anything like that for irrigation system?
Not for an irrigation system, just because something like that will definitely hurt your yard.
Okay.
I used to work in the RV world, and winterizing your camper was another big thing. You run your pipes until the pink fluid is coming out of them. So that's not something you want to do with your irrigation. Once you're blowing it out, you want to let it run as it does normally, and then eventually you'll see it start misting because the water is running out, obviously. So once it starts misting, that's about almost done, and then it'll almost turn to a really light fog, and there's barely anything coming out. Then you're good to go. You could turn off your pressure and go back and close everything up.
Okay. We have just about 5 more minutes here. Boris, is there anything else that you can say to people that within wrapping up their summer lawn maintenance and getting ready for winter and fall lawn maintenance that maybe we haven't covered that you recommend or they should be thinking about? Or is it almost time to just kind of step back and enjoy the winter?
Yeah, it's definitely getting close to that time to where we can just kind of take a chill on our yards for a little bit. But right now is a great time for planting, fall planting, gardens, or even plant gardens.
Okay.
That's a great time to do that right now.
Planting gardens.
Lawn landscaping and stuff like that.
Okay.
Color, adding a little bit of, I like darker gardens. So they, you have different reds, different violets, deeper colors in there. It definitely makes your house pop, especially this time of year if you have a lighter color house, and also as far as lawn maintenance go, that's really about it. But we are hitting the ground running right now with holiday lighting.
Okay.
We're offering that service this year. And obviously it gets cold. You're going to have to untangle lights. You're going to have to feel like Mr. Griswold and all that. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to climb on a ladder, hang on, by a rope or whatever. So leave it to the professionals. Give us a call. We'll get you all set up, And
our guest last week was David with LED Lighting Center, and he was talking about holiday lighting himself. They've got a big supply of LED lights coming in here shortly for people that don't want to make the transition from the old incandescent Christmas lights to the LED lights. He said that you can put, I think it's 10 or 20 times more LED lights out for the exact same amount of power usage as those incandescent lights, and it'll make, obviously they're brighter because LEDs are brighter, but it'll, you can put more lights out for the same energy usage.
Obviously it looks great too. I love LEDs over incandescent.
And the other thing is the people like me who have no business being up on a second story ladder hanging up lights.
I'm off on ladders a lot, and I still feel that same way.
Awesome. So it's good to know you guys are kind of getting into that. I'm sure there's a lot of people that would probably do more for the holidays from a lighting perspective if they knew that there was people out there that could do it for them. And I'm sure it's very reasonable for you guys to come out and do that for them, right?
Oh yeah, we do garlands, we do tree wraps, we do wreaths, the whole 9 yards. We have, up to 30-foot trees as well that we could set up for commercials and commercial properties and stuff like that. So yeah, we're excited to hit the holiday market this year.
Have you guys been doing that for a while, or is this something new you're getting into?
Oh, we got into it last year, and this year we actually went a little bit harder into it. Went to a conference and got trained up on all the product and how to set it up, and different little tips and tricks that we could use on the field to provide excellent quality holiday lights.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The other big thing is big projects at this point. Y'all are obviously in your business slowing down from the maintenance perspective, but for your business, it's good for, if someone's wanting to make a major change to their landscape in general, now's the time to reach out to a landscaper like you to get them to come and do that, right?
Definitely. We were out laying sod all day yesterday for a gentleman. And I mean, this is definitely the time to do some major landscape improvements, hardscapes, patios, re-grassing your yard, what have you. It's prime time right now. We got about a month left for our major grass type projects, but other than that, I mean, winter is the time to make your yard look good so it's popping in the spring.
We got about a minute and a half here, Boris. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us some great insight into our fall and winter yard maintenance and telling everyone how to winterize their yards and protect their systems that they've had installed. Tell everybody quickly how they can get in touch with you guys if they want you just to come take care of it. You guys are a full service too.
Yes, full service.
Not just a mobile and go. You can just, if they want their yard to just be nice, they can just call you and pay you and you just take care of it, right?
Yeah, we're definitely not the run-of-the-mill landscaper here. We take care of you through and through.
How can they get in touch with you?
We definitely go to Kreiders Landscaping. That's Kreiders with an S, landscaping.com, and fill out it's going to say get a quote, but you can still get in touch with us. That'll definitely put you in our reach, and we'll get out and get in touch with you as soon as we could.
What about a phone number?
423-708-5646. That's
awesome.
508 or 708-5646.
No worries, Boris. Thank you so much for coming. After the break, we're going to be digging in with Alan King from JD Frost & Company. We're going to be talking about one of our favorite subjects, taxes. Oh boy. Woohoo! We'll be right back.
I think that part went a lot smoother than the first one.
I think it went pretty well.
Chatta Nooga Radio, Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
Police made an arrest in an armed robbery case from back in August where reports say a man broke into a storage unit office,
threatened a man at the cash register, then made off with a few rolls of pennies before escaping in a Grand Am. Police used fingerprint information to arrest Kerry Williams, who was already in their system. A man was shot and robbed on Bonnie Oaks Drive on Friday morning. The victim told the police he was approached by 4 different men with guns pointed at him who demanded his money. And once he handed it over, they shot him. He was left for dead on the side of the road. A 27-year-old man sits in Hamilton County Jail after a victim says that he burst into his hotel room, stabbed him, stole his watch and money from his shoe. Matthew Scott Cohen and alleged accomplice Shanna Saltzer both taken into custody. Police say the victim of the stabbing still in the hospital. The John Hannity Show, weekdays 3 to 6. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Expect some sunshine and pleasant weather out there through your afternoon. High settling into the upper 60s. Tonight, lows 50 to 53. For Sunday, more clouds will push in. Can't rule out a sprinkle. Most of it staying dry. Highs back into the 70s, upper 70s with a few late showers Monday. Get ready for the Wings Over North Georgia Air Show today and tomorrow at the Russell Regional Airport in Rome, featuring the Air Force F-22 Raptor and A-10 Warthog. For tickets, wingsovernorthgeorgia.com. And I'm S'mores Jeans Wells, Chief Meteorologist Patrick Core.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com. For Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
Call 423-875-3600 if you're looking to expand your professional look of your business. Then consider the vast opportunities that are available when you locate your office with the Rains Group family. Remember, it's location, location, location. And the Rains Group has the location for your professional office. Check out the spaces for lease at Executive Business Park on the Lee Highway. Small or large, we will build to suit your needs with the Rains Group. Call 423-875-3600 for the business professionals with the Rains Group.
Where to go for lunch today? Go to the Top. The Top of the Hill Country Buffet offers a delicious lunch buffet every day. Golden fried chicken with mashed potatoes from scratch, daily fresh vegetables, a full salad bar with all the fixins, and fresh homemade cobbler. In addition to the buffet, Top of the Hill also offers a full menu. Plus, kids eat for $5 all day. Top of the Hill is located in Ringgold on Remco Shops Lane and is open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Sunday. Where are you going for lunch? Go to the Top.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM.
Hey, dude, check this out. Have you ever seen one so big?
Whoa, look at the size of that.
Look at this little itty-bitty one.
Wow, that's really small.
They have them big, small, and everything in between. You'll always find the biggest variety of knives at the knife shop at Frost Cutlery in Ottawa. We're talking about over 40 brands of knives, including Benchmade, W.R. Case & Sons, Booker, and all the Frost Cutlery brands. Now, Sam, you've been to the cutlery shop. Is it amazing?
Spectacular. The knife shop at Frost Cutlery in Ottawa. They have knives, swords, kitchen knives, ammo, and reloading supplies, plus survival gear.
It's the knife shop at Frost Cutlery. They're open 7 days a week. Hey, girls, you're going to love this. We're going to the knife shop. Hey, let's not tell them they have ammo and loading supplies.
WPLZ HD4 Ottawa, W224AZ Chattanooga.
Serving Chattanooga.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe, the Tennessee Valley's most listened to news talk station.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Wendy Gillette. President Trump says he's concerned about missing journalist Jamal Khashoggi and the potential involvement of the Saudi government.
It is potentially a really, really terrible situation. So we'll see what happens.
Turkish officials are saying Khashoggi was killed inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. A congressional source confirms to CBS News Khashoggi captured everything on his Apple Watch. CBS News correspondent Errol Barnett.
President Trump makes it clear that while all the fingers are pointing at the Saudi royal family for being responsible for Khashoggi's disappearance and suspected murder, President Trump says nobody knows specifically who is responsible, and he notes that the Saudi Crown Prince has denied being responsible.
Also in Turkey, American pastor Andrew Brunson is on his way home after a Turkish court freed him yesterday following 2 years of detention. President Trump tweeted he'll meet Brunson in the Oval Office in a few hours. And Brunson also just tweeted, writing, "Thank you, Mr. President. We are on the way." The death toll has risen to 16 from Hurricane Michael. It could go up even more as searchers team with a trained dog to comb the most hard-hit areas in Florida's Panhandle.
I'm Peter King in Panama City.
You got a hose? I need a hose or something to siphon the gas out of my other car so I can put it in this one.
There's very little or no gas here. There's no power, no water, no cell service. There's also very little left of a mobile home park just off US 98. Most of the homes crushed by trees or squashed like bugs. Little help for those just barely hanging on.
An apology from North Carolina's flagship public university for the school's history of slavery.
As Chancellor of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, I offer our university's deepest apology for the profound injustices of slavery.
That was Chancellor Carol Folt. The school used slaves to build and maintain the campus. The apology came during the school's 225th anniversary. Facebook has lowered its count of users affected by a recent security breach down to almost 30 million from 50 million. Here's CBS's Allison Keyes.
Facebook says it has quashed a security breach affecting almost 30 million accounts, but the company says it can't rule out possible smaller scale efforts to exploit a problem with 3 bugs in its code. The social media giant is offering a website for users to check their accounts and see what, if any, information was stolen. Facebook is also telling customers how to spot and handle suspicious emails or text messages. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance. Pick from a range of coverage options with the Name Your Price tool to find a price that works for you. Find out more at Progressive.com.
Ready to cheer on fall? Time for a Target run. Get savings on everything you need to be a seasoned champ, like game day at your place with LaCroix Sparkling Water on sale 2 for $7. Or getting guest ready with buy one, get one 20% off all Clorox cleaning products. And shave the day. Buy 2, get a free $5 gift card on brands like Gillette and Schick. Get in, out, and on your way to the win. Target run and done. Pricing may vary, restrictions may apply.
This flu season, one Walgreens flu shot can make a world of difference, so you can protect yourself and also your close-talking coworkers, high-fiving neighbors, 2-month-old niece. That's why Walgreens has specially trained pharmacists that have provided over 60 million flu shots since 2010. Stop by for your flu shot today with a $0 copay with most insurance, because protecting the world starts with protecting yours. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
Roberta Flack is back behind the mic. CBS's Deborah Rodriguez reports.
Roberta Flack was backstage ready to receive the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Jazz Foundation of America at the Apollo Theater 2 years ago when she collapsed after suffering a stroke. They'll try again at the foundation's annual Loft Party, where Flack will finally get the overdue honors. She's 81 now and lives in an assisted facility. She's warming up to sing in her first public performance in at least a year. The Jazz Foundation provides help to musicians who suffered medical and financial setbacks. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News, New York.
Drumroll, please. The most popular British album in history is... The Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the official charts company, bases the ranking on sales, downloads, and streams in the UK. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
Police made an arrest in an armed robbery case from back in August where reports say a man broke into a storage unit office, threatened a man at the cash register, then made off with a few rolls of pennies before escaping in a Grand Am. Police used fingerprint information to arrest Kerry Williams, who was already in their system. A man was shot and robbed on Bonnie Oaks Drive on Friday morning. The victim told the police he was approached by 4 different men with guns pointed at him who demanded his money. And once he handed it over, they shot him. He was left for dead on the side of the road. A 27-year-old man sits in Hamilton County Jail after a victim says that he burst into his hotel room, stabbed him, stole his watch and money from his shoe. Matthew Scott Cohen and alleged accomplice Shanna Saltzer both taken into custody. Police say the victim of the stabbing still in the hospital. The John Hannity Show weekdays 3 to 6. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Expect some sunshine and pleasant weather out there through your afternoon. High settling into the upper 60s. Tonight, lows 50 to 53. For Sunday, more clouds will push in. Can't rule out a sprinkle. Most of it staying dry. Highs back into the 70s, upper 70s with a few late showers Monday. Get ready for the Wings Over North Georgia air show today and tomorrow at the Russell Regional Airport in Rome, featuring the Air Force F-22 Raptor and A-10 Warthog. For tickets, wingsovernorthgeorgia.com. And I'm Sonora's G12 Chief Meteorologist at your core.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com. For Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
Join We've Got You Covered with Scott Schrader every Saturday from 10 to 11 on Nooga Radio. From finance to fixtures, we discuss everything you need to know about buying or owning a home, the pitfalls, the perks, and everything in between. Saturday mornings, 10 to 12, right here on Nooga Radio.
Join Nooga Radio 92.7 FM on Wednesday, October 17th at the Hickson Walmart, as we will be broadcasting live from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. collecting donations for the Salvation Army and its emergency disaster relief efforts for families displaced by Hurricane Michael. Stop by the Walmart location just off Route 153 in Hickson with your cash donation, or drop off supplies to our canopy underneath the Walmart logo in front of the store. 100% of all donations go to these relief efforts. Nooga Radio 92.7 FM wants to thank the following partners: Super Connoisseria Loas, Apollo Hair Systems of Eastridge, Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, Sport Clips of Hamilton Place, and Chattanooga Roofing Contractors. Make a difference in the time of need. The Nooga Radio 92.7 FM Hurricane Michael Disaster Relief live broadcast Wednesday, October 17th from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Hickson Walmart from your friends at Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
There goes the neighborhood. There goes the neighborhood.
Drop us a question if you have any questions for us. Alan, thank you for joining us.
No problem. Glad to be here.
Tell us quickly about JD Frost & Company.
We are a local CPA firm. Our offices are at the corner of Georgia and 4th downtown. We've got about 30 full-time tax professionals and accounting professionals ready to help folks out.
30. Wow.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's a lot of folks to keep track of and keep busy, but we're happy to have those folks, and we're growing and getting it done.
So today is October 13th. We got a big day coming up this week, right?
That's right. So everybody remembers the big tax deadline in April 15th, of course. But of course, you can get a tax extension for 6 months, right? And so a lot of people file tax extensions. So 6 months is right around the corner. It's on Monday, October the 15th. That is the deadline for filing your.
So this year it is actually on October 15th because it's a Monday, right?
That is correct. Okay. So you've got till midnight, October 15th. So
y'all have a ton of returns still to do.
We're still working on some last minute folks. I actually was in the office this morning, and then I rolled over here to talk to you.
So it's kind of a big deal that you're here. I've got one of your last 20 or 72 hours left, right?
That's right. That's right. So we're in the midst of the last minute crunch to get everybody taken care of for 2017.
Well, we certainly appreciate you coming. Let's talk quickly. Besides procrastination, which I think is probably the biggest reason why people file extensions, what are some of the other reasons that people give as to why they actually file an extension?
Well, it's a lot of the clients we're working with right now are business owners, and when you're self-employed or have a business, sometimes closing your books is more of a complicated process than just an individual procrastinating.
Right.
So sometimes we find ourselves in the midst of cleaning up a lot of bookkeeping and a lot of accounting issues, just because we've had a growing business that just got out of control on the bookkeeping side.
So I was told, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I would venture to say that it's not, that the IRS hits their quote unquote quota of audits from the April 15th returns, and you're less likely to be audited if you file on October 15th. That's not right, is it?
Well, the IRS actually keeps their formula for selecting returns for audit secret, so nobody really knows the secret sauce. But there has been some research done where some last minute returns that do get filed typically get pulled for examination, because if you're filing on midnight on a tax deadline, most likely there's a mistake or a piece of missing information that would make it more likely that the IRS could have an adjustment to make.
So quite the opposite of that thought process.
Correct. So what I advise my clients, it's better to extend and than to have to go back and amend. So let's try to get it right. That's the number one objective.
Okay.
That's what we're generally trying to do. So if we find ourselves at April 15th and we're really just running out of time and running around like crazy people, let's just pump the brakes. Let's file that extension and get it right.
The IRS is sophisticated now. I'm sure they have some type of algorithm that they use to plug into people's tax returns to find significant errors that people typically use, or what maybe find here's the type of things that are, if we win, we're going to make, we stand to make the biggest amount of money.
Absolutely. And that's the exact calculus that the IRS goes through. They're not, well, the IRS, they're
it's
not
a business. It truly is.
Right. And there's a cost and benefit to audits, done by the IRS. They're trying to generate more revenue. So the more income you make, the higher, more money you make, the greater the likelihood of you being audited, because they're not going to audit you and me. We don't make that much money, Jared. So we don't have to worry about getting audited, because there's not that, you can't squeeze that much more blood out of a rock, right? But if you're making lots of money, your chances of getting audited are more.
So if your thought process is, I'm going to file an extension just for any other reason other than pure accuracy, it's time to figure it out.
But correct. But you need to file by October the 15th, regardless. There are some significant penalties if you do not file and there's a failure to file.
Okay, so tell us about some of those penalties or interest that people who maybe have put it off until this point, like if they filed an extension back on April 15th and they didn't make any estimated payment at that point, what kind of problems could they be facing, even though they did file that extension? There's some issues, right?
Right. And the extension is an extension of time to file, but not an extension of time to pay. Okay. So I think that's an important tidbit to keep in mind. So even if you did file an extension back in April, hopefully you did some rough estimation of what you might owe and paid that amount in. And if you haven't, and if you think you're going to be short by October the 15th, you need to go ahead and, get those payments in to make sure you're covered.
Right. So there could be significant penalties and interest of those that didn't pay those penalties.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's some failure to pay penalties if you didn't, if you're still having to write a check at this point in time.
And if they missed the October 15th deadline, that's a pretty big deal.
Yes, because then you're going to get slapped with a failure to file penalty. Which is a pretty terrible penalty to pay. So you want to make sure that you do get something filed by Monday.
Okay. So let's just talk for a few minutes about those that struggle to get their stuff ready by either April 15th, which is the corporation deadline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the March 15th April deadline, which is the corporation deadline, or the April 15th deadline for those that are filing just a sole proprietorship or an individual. What tips or advice would you give to those people to kind of get them going in the right direction?
Well, I always view the tax return as it should be an anticlimactic event. Okay, so it should be just the culmination of good record keeping and bookkeeping throughout the year. And the folks that are scrambling, have some deficiencies in their bookkeeping and their record keeping. So I would, what I always talk with clients is let's get that system in place, and then it's not a big surprise when you get to these tax deadlines where we have good information that we're looking at throughout the year. So when we do get down to tax time, it's more of just doing the final calculations, asking some final questions, doing some tax planning, and really focusing on the higher level important issues as opposed to just running around worrying about deposits and checks and all of that kind of stuff. So I think it just starts with good bookkeeping and record keeping, and making that commitment to understanding that's an important part of being a business owner or a sole proprietor.
Yeah. Well, I'm a business owner myself, so maybe I can be selfish, just ask you some pointy questions for myself for a few minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we can kind of relate that to those that are out there.
Care of.
So I'm a systems guy. Everything that I can automate, I automate. That's the whole point of everything for me. If I can create a process that's going to kind of take something off of me down the road, I'm going to do it. So most of the things that I do within my business, I set up automatically. I set up automatic transactions within my QuickBooks program. I set up automatic transactions within my bank. And create checks to send out. Is that a good thing for me to be doing, or should I?
That's a spectacular thing to do. One of the things that I have found in working with clients over the years is that you've got to make the commitment to setting up those systems and processes, to understanding that. And some business owners just run their businesses based upon the amount of money in the bank. They're like, well, there's money in the bank at the end of the day. I guess it's been
had a good day.
Had a good day. It's been successful. I've got enough money to do what I want to do in life. Let's roll. And then those are the folks that we get to the end of the year and it's a little bit of a stressful situation because
they've got a box full of receipts and they got to dig through it.
Yeah. Right. We have no idea how to measure success and do some stuff. And there's something to be said about just looking at a bank account at the end of the week and saying, hey, I did okay. But what happens is a lot of business owners, they start to grow the business, and it's just it becomes more than just a one-man show or one-woman show. And they're like, okay, well, I think I want to hire a new employee. But how do you make that decision if you don't have real data in front of you to understand?
It's always a scary decision to make if you don't know.
Right. Yeah. We're just just shooting from the hip, and if you can't measure it, you can't manage it, right? So that's the number one reason for making that investment in bookkeeping and accounting and systems and processes isn't just to make your tax return easier at the end of the year. It's making an investment in your business to be able to measure and manage your success, and just a good benefit of that is making your tax return easier to do at the end of the year, and it saves you money on your tax prep. That's when our invoices get to be a little bit high. Generally speaking, it's because we're doing a lot of it. We're doing more than just the tax work.
Where they could have maybe spent $100 on a tax software, they could have saved $1,000 in your tax prep.
Exactly. But to your point, we live in a awesome time to be a small business because there are tons of tools out there that are cheap and easy to use.
Yeah, what are some of those?
So the number one business software out there is QuickBooks. It's an easy to use software, I don't own stock in QuickBooks or anything. I don't get paid by QuickBooks or anything like that. But it is for the. There's an online version of QuickBooks out there, and it's anything from $5 to $10 a month, and it is, and you can run multi-million-dollar operations off of that software. Right. And
it's very scalable.
And it's scalable. And you're right. You can hook up your bank account to the software where it pulls in all of your bank transactions, it pulls in all your credit card transactions. So it can kind of, automate a lot of the data entry that you had to do, just even a few years ago. So it's amazing how far this software is coming.
And then if you could just kind of go back on a regular basis and tag stuff as this is a lunch, or this is a major expense. If you can do those things on a regular basis, you're really doing 90% of the work. Right?
Right. And what you find is business owners start looking at that and they start realizing how much stuff's costing them. What is their overhead? So it's
money just kind of slips out of their pockets sometimes.
Right. Yeah. So you'll be amazed. It's just not a time sink. Okay. Right. It's an important part of being a business owner. It's an important part of understanding what's going on is going through those transactions.
From a tax perspective, if I am pretty detailed in my QuickBooks as to what things are, how important is documentation? Like if I go into a QuickBooks, if I went to have lunch with a client, we talk specifically about his business for the whole lunch, and I pay for lunch. I mean, that's a meals and entertainment expense, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Do I need to have a receipt, or can I just go into my QuickBooks and say, I had lunch with this person and we talked about this?
Right. And you know what, I always try to keep all those receipts, but it's just documenting that in QuickBooks and having that contemporaneous record keeping of what that expense was it should be enough to
from a tax perspective
to support that expense.
Okay.
And what's great about QuickBooks is I hate paper, and
I do too.
And
just clutters my life.
It just is terrible. And you can actually just scan those photos and attach that receipt to the transaction in QuickBooks, and then you can just get that receipt out of your life. And man, it is just out there for forever and ever. It's done.
Awesome.
You don't have to think about it.
So we got QuickBooks. What else?
So on the personal side, a lot of people are just, if you're just a kind of a sole proprietor out there, there's a tool out there called mint.com. It's free.
And run by the same people.
Run by the same people. And you can just hook up your bank account, your credit card transactions to that. And
great budgeting tool for those of you that maybe not very good at budgeting in general. It's a great budgeting tool.
Absolutely. And then you get to the end of the year, you can just print out all the reports that you need. You'll always be shocked by how much you spend. I always get to the end of the year and realize I eat out way too much. And
I think that's everybody's problem.
I'm probably embarrassed by the amount of money I spend at Taco Bell, but that's okay.
But it's so detailed. You can find out exactly how much money you spend at Taco Bell.
Well, that's the point.
Yeah.
And then doing the tax work at the end of the year is not an issue. It's just you're able to accumulate those records easily, have really good information to understand what happened during the year, and get those taxes filed.
So your favorite clients are those that come in with you with a P&L and a balance sheet at the end of the year printed out from QuickBooks, and they just say, "Here, everything is right," and you just file it.
Well, those are great. Well, and the reason why I like working with those clients is because we're able to really add value to those clients, because when we have that. When we have a lot of just the basic stuff done, then we can really focus in on the higher level stuff. We can talk about, tax strategy. We can talk about, what's next for that business. We can really be focusing in on, what's next. And, that's my job as the CPA, is to always be asking what's next. And
I find that most CPAs and tax guys are very reactive. You guys are more proactive than most that I've seen.
Well, that's and that's what we really aim to do, and and educating our clients about taxes and really trying, because our clients are we're never going to know as much about a client's business as our clients do.
Sure.
They're experts. You're expert at Schedule Butler. I will never be as good at know as much about your business as you do.
Right.
So my job is to just help educate you about what I know, and then we can have that collaborative conversation to figure out what's applicable for you and what strategy is going to work best for you.
Whether that's making major expenditures to save on taxes, but at the same time push your business forward in the right direction.
Correct.
You may wind up not having any net expenditure from the tax savings from that expense, right?
Right. Correct. So you're exactly right. So So just really being able to understand, you know, help you understand why we make the recommendations we do, and to make sure that those recommendations make sense from a business standpoint.
And one of the big ones would be buying a truck or something at the end of the year, you know, where you're going to be making payments next year, but you may save $20,000 in taxes from buying that car.
Absolutely, because you know, a lot of tax planning is timing. So if I'm going to have to buy a big piece of equipment and I think, well, I'm going to buy it in February, well, I might as well speed that up and purchase it in December to take advantage of the depreciation that I can take on that equipment. And
because you can do it all at once, right?
Correct. There's a lot of favorable depreciation rules out there that allow us to depreciate 100% of the cost of equipment that's purchased.
Well, you said it a minute ago, you said talking about business owners doing what they do well, and a lot of business owners do a lot of things really, really well. There's a few things they don't do well, like answering the phones, which is one of the reasons we've been able to build a business. They don't answer the phones very well.
Right.
But two, sometimes they're not very good at bookkeeping. I mean, that's a big deal.
Right. No. And yeah, absolutely. I can't talk about that enough. And, you know, and let's just talk about, you know, some of the options that are available. You know, you've got you know, software. So, you know, you can do it yourself if you're a business owner. You know, a lot of accounting firms, including us, we have outsourced bookkeeping. So we can help you keep your books up to date.
So how does that work?
So it's kind of customized to each individual circumstance. We can either do it all, or, you know, we really look at, you know, the whole process of you know, because typically there's an invoicing process, figuring out who's sending out the invoices, and then there's the payable side as well. You know, who's writing the checks, and figuring out how the best way for all that information to flow. So we usually sit down with a client, look at their whole process, and figure out what makes sense from a logistics standpoint, and working out all the details.
And typically, a business owner's expenses are going to be pretty consistent from month to month. You're going to be able to recognize things the more you learn about that client, right?
Correct. We're all creatures of habit, including businesses. So the longer you do, the more you learn about a client, and the more we can automate a lot of those.
And honestly, if you see something out of the ordinary, you can bring it to their attention maybe before they'd even recognize it themselves.
Right. Absolutely. So that's an option. And then there's lots of folks out there that you know, are bookkeepers, you know, that kind of maybe have 5 or 6 clients, and, you know, finding that person that can come in one day a week and help you out.
Last question before we go to break: is there such thing as a CFO for hire?
Absolutely. You know, we try to be we kind of view ourselves as an extension of a client's accounting department, and most of our clients don't have CFOs, so we really view ourselves.
They're expensive.
They're absolutely expensive, and a lot of times most businesses don't need a full-time CFO. So we kind of view ourselves as a 30-person CFO staff, an extension of a client's business.
And not even help them from taxes, but you can help them make appropriate decisions for their business moving forward.
Absolutely. Help people understand how to structure their balance sheet, you know, how to borrow money, you know, understand, you know, what their expenses are, and the you know, the key performance indicators of how that business operates.
Awesome. Alan, thank you so much for being with us. We're after the break, we're going to be talking about some of the major tax law changes that have come up this year, and see if they're going to affect you. We'll be right back.
Just getting into this market. There's just like social media. Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
Police made an arrest in an armed robbery case from back in August, where reports say a man broke into a storage unit office, threatened a man at the cash register, and then made off with a few rolls of pennies before escaping in a Grand Am. Police used fingerprint information to arrest Kerry Williams, who was already in their system. A man was shot and robbed on Bonnie Oaks Drive on Friday morning. The victim told the police he was approached by 4 different men with guns pointed at him who demanded his money. And once he handed it over, they shot him. He was left for dead on the side of the road. A 27-year-old man sits in Hamilton County Jail after a victim says that he burst into his hotel room, stabbed him, stole his watch and money from his shoe. Matthew Scott Cohen and alleged accomplice Shanna Saltzer both taken into custody. Police say the victim of the stabbing is still in the hospital. The John Hannity Show, weekdays 3 to 6. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Even if you like your job, there are some things that can drive you nuts, like the anonymous coward who steals your lunch from the break room fridge, or maybe Tyler, the IT guy, who gives you that condescending look when you tell him that your computer is acting up again, as if somehow it's your fault. You put up with these clowns every single day. But what happens when you've had enough? That's the day you decide to retire. At least that's the hope, right? But will you be able to retire? Can you afford to retire? That's why you need to talk to Ron and Christy Adams at One Family Financial. They can't do anything about Cody, that moron who heats up fish in the microwave, but they can strategize with you on how to get the most out of your 401k or pension, how to grow your money without losing your shirt in the market, and how to help make your money last in retirement. Talk to Ron and Christy today about whether you'll be ready to retire when you finally had it with seeing Ethan walk out of the bathroom again without washing his hands. Gross. Call Ron and Christy Adams at One Family Financial, 423-710-2009, 423-710-2009.
When it comes to family, I leave nothing to chance, including our financial future. I go to Michael Levy. He's local, takes time to know me, and helps me plan for our future. Don't put your financial future on hold. Call Michael Levy, 779-7755.
Join Nooga Radio and the Gridiron Gang live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. We're talking all things high school football. There's a specialty brew or refresher weekly inspired by the game of the week. Sweet treats, extended hours all season long, and we're pet friendly. Portions of all proceeds support local schools and educational scholarships, as well as after-school programs. It's football time in Tennessee. Join us every Thursday live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks, 10 North, your North Shore neighborhood living room.
Now, Rick wants you to buy on U.S. Gold American coins. Are you tired of making 1% on your investments with the banks, even 2 or 3% at best? Now, Rick wants you to buy on U.S. Gold American coins.
Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, Brainerd Road.
Man, you sure you know what you're doing?
Yeah, I worked with my dad on his truck all the time. Just one more bolt to go.
Yeah, wrong bolt. Today's truck ain't your daddy's truck. For repairs on today's vehicles, you need Amco Transmission and Total Car Care of Chattanooga on Lee Highway. Stay on the road, not in the garage. Amco Transmission on Lee Highway. Get it done the right way. The Thompson Pet way. Yeah, I just put that anyway.
Join We've Got You Covered with Scott Schrader every Saturday from 10 to 11 on Nooga Radio. From finance to fixtures, we discuss everything you need to know about buying or owning a home, the pitfalls, the perks, and everything in between. Saturday mornings, 10 to 12, right here on Nooga Radio.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
Chattanooga weather. Expect some sunshine and pleasant weather out there through your afternoon. High settling into the upper 60s. Tonight, lows 50 to 53. For Sunday, more clouds will push in. Can't rule out a sprinkle. Most of it staying dry. Highs back into the 70s, upper 70s with a few late showers Monday. Get ready for the Wings Over North Georgia Air Show today and tomorrow at the Russell Regional Airport in Rome, featuring the Air Force F-22 Raptor and A-10 Warthog. For tickets, wingsovernorthgeorgia.com. And I'm Solar Gene Swell, Chief Meteorologist at your core.
Nooga Radio 92.7. There goes the neighborhood. There goes the neighborhood.
You're back with us. We've got you covered. Brought to you by Chattanooga Roofing Contractors and 92.7 Nooga Radio. I'm Jared Bailey, filling in for Scott Schrader. On the last segment, we talked about the October 15th extension deadline and bookkeeping in general. If you have any questions about that, please let us know. You can call us on our radio line at 423-800-8949, or you can let us know on Facebook Live. We'll be happy to answer those questions in this segment. Alan, thank you for being back with us. Let's talk quickly about some of the major changes that we had for 2018. Donald Trump came in with his hair on fire. He's trying to shake things up a little bit. It's made a big deal in our economy in general, but let's talk about more on the local level. What are some of these changes that may affect or may not affect some people?
Well, if you'll recall, back in December of 2017, there was the Trump tax bill passed, and that fundamentally changed taxation here in the United States. It's going to touch every American for 2018. So generally speaking, if you're just an individual, family like my family, we're gonna see a little bit of a tax savings. A couple $1,000. It's going to affect everybody, and then
some cases more significant than others.
More significant, and we'll get into that here in a second. But the rules affected everybody. So not only the ultra wealthy and Microsoft and Apple, as far as their foreign earnings and all the crazy stuff that a Fortune 500 company goes down, but it's affecting everybody, the school teacher, the firefighters, just every American that's driving down the road today is going to look at a tax return next year and be like, wait a minute, this is different than it has been since 1986.
Got some more money in my pocket.
Well, there are some circumstances where you could actually have your taxes increase on you, depending on your particular fact pattern. But generally speaking, most individual taxpayers are going to see a nice little decrease in their taxes. Is it going to be a game-changing tax savings? No, but is it going to be some extra scratch in your pocket for to maybe take a vacation? Perhaps. Yeah. Yes. So
dump back in the economy.
That's the idea. Yeah. That's the idea. The folks that are going to see the most significant tax savings are business owners, and there's a 20% tax deduction out there. So this is what's got a lot of press. That's what we're spending a lot of time at our firm understanding and planning for, is this 20% tax deduction. And basically what that is if you own your own business, generally speaking, you're going to get an additional 20% tax deduction just for being in business.
Just in general?
Just in general. And there's lots of ifs, ands, or buts about it. I should have brought we have a giant kind of a flow chart of how this thing works, and only politicians could come up with something as a kind of complex as this.
Got a bunch of gotchas in it.
There are more gotchas in there than you can imagine. But generally speaking, most people are going to end up on the other side with most business owners are going to end up on the other side with more money in their pocket to reinvest in their business and hopefully maybe give raises or whatever they need to do.
So just speaking to the general business owner, maybe they don't have an accountant that helps them with their planning in general. What are some of the things that maybe they should take? I mean, we've got 3 months left in the year. What are some of the things that they should be thinking about to help take advantage of some of those things?
Right. So planning, you're absolutely right, is crucial and critical. So with all of our clients, we are actually we're doing tax planning for every one of them, and trying to make sure that by December 31, we have at least a pretty good picture of how these laws are going to affect them individually. And then from there, we can, put in additional plans and strategies in place to make sure we're taking full advantage of the laws. And and in certain circumstances, we're having to restructure some businesses. If it's a pass through, we're having to maybe create a couple of new companies or do things a little bit differently to make sure we get the full force of that.
We've had
20%.
some corporation law changes as well, right?
Right. And this is something that probably doesn't affect a lot of people, but the corporate tax rate went from the high of 35% is now at a 20% tax. So that's a significant.
Yeah, it's a big deal. We were talking about the big Fortune 500 companies. They're saving millions of dollars in taxes.
Yes, correct. And you've heard a lot about that where Apple and some of these other really, really big companies, because of that, gave one-time bonuses to employees, or are taking that tax savings money and returning it to their shareholders via increased dividends or share buybacks
or major investments in new production plants. Or
correct. So a lot of that that tax savings is getting reinvested in some form of fashion.
That was the hope anyway, right?
Well, that's the hope. Yeah, I'm just a local CPA here, but
they may have bonused it out to the CEO. But we don't know.
We don't know. We don't know. So he may have dumped it back into the economy via Cartier watches and Ferraris. Hopefully, hopefully that I guess that stimulates the economy too as well. But
in a roundabout way,
exactly. Does it help the rank and file? Hopefully, I guess that's what you ultimately, Joe the plumber, right? Is that the phrase you want to the guys you want to help the most? So but there's just been those significant changes, and if you haven't had those discussions yet, I urge you to start thinking about what needs to be done to really take advantage of that to the full effect.
So let's talk about the Joe the plumber that you just mentioned. Mm-hmm. Let's say he doesn't have a CPA and he's always just filed his own return because it's been simple, and maybe he's growing. Let's maybe file 1, 2, 3. Here's the top three things you need to do between now and the end of the year to take advantage of these tax changes.
Oh, the first thing is to don't do your own taxes. That's kind of like being your own doctor, right? The doctor's been to medical school. He sees sick people all day. You want to believe that he knows how to do his job and get you better. If you're a business owner, the last thing you want to do is be up late at night trying to figure out the tax law, that's some good money to spend, is to just have somebody help you interpret what those laws are, right, and how they can affect you. So that's my thing, is you're spending a little bit of money on a professional, but the rewards that you're going to get are going to be much greater. Don't be penny wise, pound foolish, right? And so that's what you want to do, is engage a CPA and really start talking about those issues and make sure you have a full understanding of what's going on.
Okay. Let's pretend maybe he doesn't. He's foolish, and now it's January 1st, or let's say he realizes January 1st he needs somebody, but between now and then, what are some of the things that he can do to help himself?
Well, the first thing is, don't wait till January 1st. Sure. We can't do tax planning in January. Right. At that point in time, we're just scribes. We're just historians recording what happened. We can't do our job the way we need to do it in January or February. Now's the time where we can really do our thing. We need to talk to you between now and the end of the year.
Okay.
And that's when we can get all the bookkeeping up to date. That's when we can really start digging in and really have a solid plan, because the whole idea is to get to April and not wait until April 15th. It's a nice, calm, smooth process. We just get our information together, and then we compare your tax return to our projection we did in December, and life is easy. Life is good.
Taking the new rules into consideration, or new laws, I should say, new laws into consideration. Let's say he's got some money in his pocket and he's looking to invest in his business. What would you say is the best place for him to do it right now to take advantage of the laws that are coming down?
Right. Again, if he's made a lot of money in 2018, which, the economy's been doing pretty well. Generally speaking, most business owners have had a pretty solid 2018.
Had a great year.
And so if you're looking to invest in equipment, and you see you're going to have to buy it in the first quarter of 2019. For tax purposes, if you speed up those purchases and place that equipment in service in 2018, you can get those depreciation deductions.
You don't have to pay cash for it.
That's right. You can
go to title on it, right?
You have to place the equipment in service. So you got to be able to use it, and so we want to accelerate those purchases into 2018.
Is there, from my understanding, if I remember correctly, there's something around bonuses or something to the business owner, right? I mean, the way that the income will be taxed from, if I'm taking distributions for my company, that's different than it was previously, right?
Correct. And generally speaking, you want to get those bonuses paid by 12/31. So again, planning goes.
And what's the benefit of doing that versus leaving it in the company?
Well, you
because it's a pass through anyway, right?
Right. So it depends on what kind of entity it is. If it's a C corp, that entity pays tax itself, right? So if you pay those bonuses by 12/31, the C corp can get those deductions and decrease its tax bill. For pass throughs, just depends what kind of pass through it is.
But is there a benefit to just let it pass through, or should I consider it a compensation?
Well, it just depends on what kind of business it is. Sometimes businesses need to build those retained earnings to be able to get credit and continuing investing in the business. So sometimes paying out all the doing a tax move doesn't make business sense. And so that's our job too, is to educate our clients as to, well, here's a tax move we could make, but does it really make business sense first? And so that's the key thing in our world, is making sure that do the tax moves that we make actually make business sense first. And that's an important thing that I think is all business owners should, and CPAs even should take to heart, is don't let the tax tail wag the dog. Let's make smart business decisions first, then let's figure out the best way to do it from a tax perspective.
When I was getting my master's degree, and I've got my master's degree in accounting, one of the things that they told us in my first major tax class was you need to learn the word "it depends."
Exactly, because that's exactly right, and because there's an infinite amount of facts and circumstances that can sway a situation from one way or one conclusion to another. So you're exactly right. There is no one size fits all. It really, you have to look at each client individually. We're not an assembly line. Each one of our clients is a unique product. It really is, and you really have to dig in and understand that. It's not just pump numbers in a computer, and I know some of my clients probably think that's all we do, but it really isn't that way.
And that's where the value of having a relationship with a CPA or a bookkeeper actually makes sense, because you are unique,
and they can understand the nuances of your business and understand, where does your income come from? What are you spending money on? And then how do those tax rules mesh on top of that to make sure we're really getting the full effect of, make sure we're paying the legal minimum. That's our goal. Not a penny more, not a penny less of what you owe.
We're a little over halfway with our second segment here, Alan. I appreciate you being here. Let's talk a little bit more about just general tax planning. What are some more things, maybe more tips that you would give to a business owner that they generally just wouldn't know about or think about, or if somebody's thinking about using a CPA, or what would make them want to come use you guys versus another?
Well, one of the things I think that we focus our practice on is the relationship. That's an important part. Just dropping off a stack of documents is not the way we do business.
It's not the way anybody should do business.
Right. So we try to take the time to really understand a client's business and understand what all those little pieces of paper mean. We want to understand the big picture. Then we can really start work, and that's a process. So it's really a relationship. So that's what I urge people to really think through when they're engaging a professional, whether it's a doctor, a lawyer, no matter who it is really developing that rock solid long-term relationship. So they can really, it's not just a one-time hit, it should be a lifetime of back and forth and when growth together.
The business owner picks up the phone and calls the CPA, they should be able to ask the question that they want to ask, rather than saying, hey, look into my file, and when you get your head back wrapped around my business, can you give me an answer to my question?
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's the idea.
Yeah. Exactly. And sometimes a client will call me and they'll have a crazy question out of left field and be like, wow, I'm going to have to think about that.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, that's what we strive for, is to be able to have a consistent relationship with a client. The staff and the team that we get on an account really get to know that business owner. They get to know the client. They get to know all the things that makes that client unique. So we're really able to serve that client consistently over the course of time to really deliver, a unique value, and that's important. And same thing, like I said, that translates to no matter what, all sorts of business relationships. That ultimately, that's you do business with people, right? And that's the older I get, the more true that becomes.
A couple weeks ago, we had on a guest, Hannes DeVet with TreeWorks, and he was talking about the importance of having somebody in your Rolodex or in your phone for any situation, and whether that be from a tree emergency or a plumbing emergency,
especially plumbing emergencies.
Yeah, I mean, if a tree falls in your house in the middle of the night,
and especially
you want to be able to call 911 if there's any fires or issues that were right there. You need to call the power company, have the power cut off, and you need to call a tree company to come get the tree off your house.
Right.
And having those relationships with all different types of service professionals is extremely important. More importantly for a business owner than really anything else is, one, their insurance guy from a risk mitigation perspective.
Absolutely.
But number two, their accountant. So they can truly rely on you guys to give pointed feedback as those questions come up. To if I call you and say, hey, I'm thinking about this, and you say, hey, you're an idiot, you shouldn't do that. That's not a good idea.
Right.
Or two, hey, yeah, that's a great idea.
Right. well, I try to avoid calling clients idiots, but I like to think, but I do like to, when you have to say no, that's a tough, you got to have a good enough relationship to be able to say no.
Right.
And that's in the relationships that we develop with clients, and what I strive for, I really care about my clients. It's just like, you get to know these folks, and you just really care about them.
Yeah.
And, it's just,
it means a lot.
Yeah. You just want to understand, you want them to do well. And, cause when they do well, you do well. And, people are people. You just want to see, your friends and clients do well. And so it's, you're exactly right. But part of that relationship is to be like, well, no, you can't deduct that.
Sorry.
I don't care what the guy on the golf course said. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
And that's just not a smart idea.
Yeah. You can do it if you want, but if you get audited, it's on you, not me.
Exactly. So that's important too, is to have that relationship with somebody where they can tell you no and be able to give you candid advice. So that's very true. Very true. So
what are some of those things that business owners typically think are deductible? Maybe they're really not. They're just trying to push it under the rug.
It's crazy, man. I've stayed up many a night having long drawn out conversations. One of the things that always gets people want to deduct haircuts and clothes, and you're like, well, I have to look nice at work, and I have to have a nice haircut, right? Or and they may spend thousands upon thousands of dollars doing that, and it's just and you can deduct clothing if it's specialized for your trade,
right?
But if you're just
like a Tyvek suit or something for a pest control company,
right? That's one thing. But if you're a real estate agent and you buy all sorts of Armani suits and things of that nature to look good, I mean, hey, great for you, man. You look sharp, man. That's people want to do business with a sharp dressed guy or gal, but you can't deduct that. And
one of the other ones would be like a golf course membership. I mean, a lot of business owners have golf course memberships, but for pleasure, but more importantly for business acquisition.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they'll talk to you till you're blue in the face about how much business they're really doing at the country club, and it's like, I understand that.
Yeah,
but
it's a specific rule. You cannot.
There's some very specific rules about those things. So those are some things that come up every year, and substantiation is always important. Sometimes we'll just get a list of expenses on a piece of notebook paper, and I'll tell a client, hey, you've got some receipts or something to back this up? Certainly.
Right.
And then next thing we know, we have an IRS rolling down there. Hey, can you send me those receipts that you told me you had? And next thing you know, well, I'll have to get back to you. So fun stuff.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Alan.
Thank you.
You've been very helpful with all the information you've given us today, from bookkeeping and general planning to tax rule changes.
Well, I appreciate it. I hope people are still listening after a couple of segments about accounting and tax.
I think they are. Alan, quickly, just tell everybody how they can reach out to you guys if they want your help.
Yeah. So we're our offices are down at the corner of 4th and Georgia in downtown Chattanooga. So always just drop by and see us, and just look us up on the internet. JD Frost and Company. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on all that good stuff. So just look us up, like us on Facebook. We got a big push. We're going for 1,000 likes. I think we're at 900 and something. So help us out.
Well, today we've got you covered. We talked about fall lawn maintenance and irrigation winterization with Boris Hernandez from Kreider Landscaping. If you want to reach out to them, they're happy to help. And we talked with Alan King from JD Frost and Company. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Jared with Schedule Butler. If you're a small business owner and need some help, give us a call, 423-933. This has been, we've got you covered. Thanks for coming.
Hey, I appreciate that.
You too.
I don't know how we have that.
Chattanooga Radio, Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
Police made an arrest in an armed robbery case from back in August where reports say a man broke into a storage unit office, threatened a man at the cash register, and then made off with a few rolls of pennies before escaping in a Grand Am. Police used fingerprint information to arrest Kerry Williams, who was already in their system. A man was shot and robbed on Bonnie Oaks Drive on Friday morning. The victim told the police he was approached by 4 different men with guns pointed at him who demanded his money. And once he handed it over, they shot him. He was left for dead on the side of the road. A 27-year-old man sits in Hamilton County Jail after a victim says that he burst into his hotel room, stabbed him, stole his watch and money from his shoe. Matthew Scott Cohen and alleged accomplice Shanna Saltz are both taken into custody. Police say the victim of the stabbing is still in the hospital. The John Hannity Show, weekdays 3 to 6. Russell Stroud, Chattanooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Expect some sunshine and pleasant weather out there through your afternoon. High settling into the upper 60s. Tonight, lows 50 to 53. For Sunday, more clouds will push in. Can't rule out a sprinkle. Most of it staying dry. Highs back into the 70s, upper 70s with a few late showers Monday. Get ready for the Wings Over North Georgia Air Show today and tomorrow at the Russell Regional Airport in Rome, featuring the Air Force F-22 Raptor and A-10 Warthog. For tickets, wingsovernorthgeorgia.com. And I'm Solar Gene 12, Chief Meteorologist at your core.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com. For Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
Call 423-875-3600 if you're looking to expand your professional look of your business. Then consider the vast opportunities that are available when you locate your office with the Raines Group family. Remember, it's location, location, location. And the Raines Group has the location for your professional office. Check out the spaces for lease at Executive Business Park on the Lee Highway. Small or large, we will be able to suit your needs with the Raines Group. Call 423-875-3600 for the business professionals with the Raines Group.
Where to go for lunch today? Go to the Top. The Top of the Hill Country Buffet offers a delicious lunch buffet every day. Golden fried chicken with mashed potatoes from scratch, daily fresh vegetables, a full salad bar with all the fixins, and fresh homemade cobbler. In addition to the buffet, Top of the Hill also offers a full menu. Plus, kids eat for $5 all day. Top of the Hill is located in Ringgold on Remco Shops Lane and is open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Sunday. Where are you going for lunch? Go to the Top.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM.
Hey, dude, check this out. Have you ever seen one so big?
Whoa, look at the size of that.
Look at this little itty-bitty one.
Wow, that's really small.
They have them big, small, and everything in between. You'll always find the biggest variety of knives at the knife shop at Frost Cutlery in Ottawa. We're talking about over 40 brands of knives, including Benchmade, WR Case & Sons, Booker, and all the Frost Cutlery brands. Now, Sam, you've been to the cutlery shop. Is it amazing?
Spectacular. The knife shop at Frost Cutlery in Ottawa have knives, swords, kitchen knives, ammo, and reloading supplies, plus survival gear.
It's the knife shop at Frost Cutlery. We're open 7 days a week. Hey, girls, you're going to love this. We're going to the knife shop. Hey, let's not tell them they have ammo and loading supplies. The Knife Shop at Frost Cutlery opens 7 days a week. You'll always find the biggest variety of knives. You're going to love the Knife Shop at Frost Cutlery in Ottawa. The Knife Shop.
And tell them David Toulis sent you.
WPLZ HD4 Ottawa, W224AZ Chattanooga.
Serving Chattanooga.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe, the Tennessee Valley's most listened to news talk station.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Quicken Loans.
I'm Wendy Gillette. It's a diplomatic victory for President Trump. American pastor Andrew Brunson is scheduled to meet with the president in the next few hours in the Oval Office. He was freed by a Turkish court yesterday and then flew to Germany for a medical checkup before continuing to the U.S. CBS News correspondent Errol Barnett on his alleged crimes.
He was swept up in a crackdown in Turkey after the 2016 coup attempt. Brunson and thousands of others were arrested. He was ultimately charged with terrorism and espionage. He was sentenced to almost 3 years in prison. So far, he served 2 years in jail.
The espionage charge was dropped yesterday. Brunson has maintained his innocence. He tweeted his thanks to President Trump, who had repeatedly tried to bring him home. President Trump tells 60 Minutes in an interview airing tomorrow night, the U.S. is working to figure out what happened to missing Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
There's a lot at stake, and maybe especially so because this man was a reporter. There's something, you'll be surprised to hear me say that, there's something really terrible and disgusting about that if that were the case. So we're going to have to see. We're going to get to the bottom of it, and there will be severe punishment.
Turkish officials claim Khashoggi recorded his own murder inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul on his Apple Watch. Search teams are looking for more potential victims of Hurricane Michael in Florida. Right now, the death toll stands at 16. Many others had close calls, including Frank Knight's wife in Panama City.
My wife was in there when the trees came down on top of her. How is she? She's injured, but she's all right.
Communities in Florida's Panhandle are coping with not enough gas and no power.
I'm Jim Krasul in Greensboro, North Carolina. As of sunrise Saturday morning, nearly 900,000 homes and businesses remained without power across 6 southeastern states. The biggest outages are in Virginia and North Carolina. Utility companies say it could be the middle of next week before most of the power disrupted by hurricane, then tropical storm Michael, is restored.
And the number of customers without power has now dropped to almost 800,000 in 6 states. The Taliban held talks with a U.S. special envoy to try to bring an end to the war in Afghanistan. CBS News military analyst Jeff McCausland.
This comes at a particularly difficult moment in Afghanistan, as we've seen the Taliban making strides in controlling more and more territory.
A Taliban statement says the meeting was held yesterday in Qatar. A report earlier this year says the war has cost the U.S. about $900 billion. This is CBS News.
National mortgage lender Quicken Loans. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Licensed in all 50 states, equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030.
Hi, it's Patti LaBelle. You've seen me cooking in my kitchen on TV. I know you have. I'm as comfortable making sweet desserts in my kitchen as I am making sweet music. And when I make my delicious treats, there's only one egg that's good enough for me and my family. Eggland's Best. With 6 times more vitamin D, 10 times more vitamin E, 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. And better taste. It doesn't get any better than the best. Eggland's Best.
It's time to find adventure on every drive. With Pennzoil Synthetics, you get complete protection for top engine performance. And between October 1st and November 30th, you'll get travel rewards to help you on your journey. With the purchase of any Pennzoil specialty motor oil change, you can earn up to $100 in travel reward credit. Save on hotels, rental cars, and activities. Visit Pennzoil.com/travel-on to find participating locations. Pennzoil, make the switch. Travel on. Offer ends 11/30. Terms apply. Full details at Pennzoil.com/travel-on.
Used cars are what's new. WWJ reporter Jeff Gilbert.
High prices that once pushed consumers into leasing and longer loans are now pushing them into the used car market. National Automobile Dealers Association Chairman Wes Lutz says rising interest rates are an issue, but so are new technologies that aren't free.
They're all wonderful. Consumers love them, but we're going to hit critical mass at some point in time, and I think we're getting close.
Lutz also concerned that tariffs could push vehicle prices up even more. Jeff Gilbert for CBS News, Detroit.
The Me Too movement has even made its way to the New York City Wine and Food Festival, which is taking place this weekend. The creator of the movement, Tarana Burke, attended a female-centric event to highlight women's contributions to the culinary world. Martina McBride and Natasha Bedingfield also performed. This year marks the 11th festival. It features 80 events attended by 47,000 people. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
If you're a paint contractor,
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
Police made an arrest in an armed robbery case from back in August where reports say a man broke into a storage unit office, threatened a man at the cash register, then made off with a few rolls of pennies before escaping in a Grand Am. Police used fingerprint information to arrest Kerry Williams, who was already in their system. A man was shot and robbed on Bonnie Oaks Drive on Friday morning. The victim told the police he was approached by 4 different men with guns pointed at him who demanded his money. And once he handed it over, they shot him. He was left for dead on the side of the road. A 27-year-old man sits in Hamilton County Jail after a victim says that he burst into his hotel room, stabbed him, stole his watch and money from his shoe. Matthew Scott Cohen and alleged accomplice Shanna Saltzer are both taken into custody. Police say the victim of the stabbing is still in the hospital. The John Hannity Show weekdays 3 to 6. Russell Stroud, Chattanooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Expect fair skies to continue through your nighttime. Cool again overnight with some late clouds, lows 50 to 53. For Sunday, increasing clouds. Can't rule out a sprinkle or spotty shower, but most of us will stay dry. Highs back into the 70s, upper 70s, a late shower possible Monday. The Wings Over North Georgia Air Show continues tomorrow, Sunday, at Rome's Russell Regional Airport, featuring the Air Force F-22 Raptor and A-10 Warthog. For tickets, wingsovernorthgeorgia.com. And I'm Source 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Moore.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Hi, my name is James, and today I want to tell you about Pediatric Dentistry at Chattanooga. That means they only treat kids. Fun fact. Did you know that a dentist for kids goes to school 2 years longer than a regular dentist? When I see my dentist, I get to play games. When my teeth are clean, I get to pick out a toy to take home. I love toys. You really should see my dentist. It is fun.
Buying a home is one of the most exciting things you will ever do, but it can also be scary and nerve-wracking. I'm Melanie Moore, owner and certified master inspector with Full Disclosure Property Inspection. Let me help calm those nerves by putting my 37-plus years of experience in the construction and inspection industry to work for you, providing you a thorough, well-explained quality inspection to make sure this home of your dreams doesn't become your nightmare. Call me, Melanie Moore, at 255-1300 or find me online at fdhomeinspection.com.
Hello, Chattanooga. How are you this morning? This is Kevin Blair with Element Funding. You're listening to Mortgage Sense with Kevin, a common sense approach to mortgages, and you're on Nooga Radio 92.7. Good morning, Beth. Actually, it's
good afternoon. It's 12, so now it's afternoon.
It is. We've had brunch, we've had lunch, we've had breakfast. It's afternoon.
It is.
You know what? We're going to have a great show today. You know why?
So we have an awesome guest with us.
Yes, we do. And we have, not only is she a guest, but she's one of our sponsors. So those of you that have been out there listening, you've been hearing her commercials. And I've got Beth Squared with me today. I'm surrounded.
You're so lucky.
I'm surrounded. I've got 2 Beths.
We should leave the show with the song Beth by Kiss.
Ooh, I like it.
You know what? We should.
We should do that.
Well, let's introduce you. It's Miss Beth Kelly with American Home Shield.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, lady. How are you?
I am great. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today.
Sure.
Came all the way up from Knoxville just to be with us.
All the way, just for you guys.
Just for us. You know what? I always start our shows with the rules of our show. Okay. We've been doing our show now for a year. This is only our second week on Nooga Radio, and we've got a great new home, and we're excited about that. But we always start the show with our rules of what we're trying to accomplish. And what we want to accomplish, we want to provide great information for the people that are listening to us. We don't want it to be a sell show. Now, I know all three of us in this room, we make a living by selling. Okay. You sell home warranties. I sell mortgages. And Beth sells Kevin.
I have the hardest job ever.
You do have a hard job.
She has the hardest job of selling me.
You need a raise.
You were like the second person.
You know what?
to say that.
The next person, you know what? If we raise your fees, I'll give her a raise. How's that?
Okay, I'm sorry, you're not getting a raise.
You're not getting a raise. See, we can both play that game.
Okay.
Absolutely. So we all make a living by selling. Okay, but what we want to do is we want to provide great information about the real estate and mortgage industry. Okay, because getting a mortgage is very
daunting.
It is a daunting process. Okay, it's
and
very
can be
scary.
stressful.
It can be very stressful. So we want to provide good information for the people that are listening to us. That way, when they have questions, they have a friendly voice to call. Okay, so now, first of all, you're from Knoxville.
I am. Well, not originally. I've been there since 2012.
Since 2012. Where are you from originally?
Oh, my goodness. All over. Born in Virginia, and I've lived in Mississippi, South Carolina, different parts of North Carolina, Texas, Missouri.
Uh-oh, there's a Texas connection.
I've been everywhere.
Fantastic. Well, I didn't know that.
But I'm in Knoxville to stay.
You're in Knoxville to stay.
I am.
Well, why are we in Chattanooga then?
It's part of my territory.
There you go. So tell us about... First, it's always important to me, okay? I want to know about Beth Kelly, okay? Business is what we do, okay? Mortgages is what we do. I know, I wasn't going to go there. That wouldn't have sounded it wouldn't have sounded right. So tell us about Beth Kelly.
Okay. Well, like we just went over, I've lived all over. I do have a wonderful 11-year-old son. He plays baseball, keeps me busy. I'm completely blessed with him.
Fantastic.
Past life, I was a middle school math teacher. Actually have a degree in math. And then after that, I became a real estate agent. So this industry was just a natural fit for me, having been a teacher and then having been in the real estate. It's just a natural fit, and I feel completely blessed. It's the best job I've ever had, and I wouldn't want to do anything else.
Fantastic. You know, I can't imagine, and it's funny that you say that because I can't imagine doing anything else. I've been in mortgages 19 years now, and I had a young lady ask me this week, literally asked me this week, what kind of fulfillment can you get out of being in the mortgage business? And I could show you text after text, email after email, call after call of people that we help change their lives.
Well, that's it. You're helping.
Right.
You're helping someone.
You know, it's we had a 42-year-old man that heard us on the radio. Beth heard us on the radio, had been renting all of his life and never thought that he could buy a home. And called us and said, listen, he says, I don't know anything about it, but I like the way that y'all talked. I like the way that your approach to it. Would you see about getting us approved, him and his wife? They came to the office. We sat down and he literally cried when we told him that, yes, he could. Okay. And a short 6 weeks later, we hooked him up with one of our great realtor partners. About 6 weeks later, he's in a home. And I'm telling you, he'll be a great cheerleader for us forever. So, yeah, there is a lot of fulfillment in what we do. I mean, it's to me, we talk about this all the time. There's 5 major decisions we make in our lifetime: getting married, having kids, buying a home, changing jobs. Okay. And then there's a spiritual part of our life. And I take every one of those very, very serious. So tell us about American Home Shield.
Well, we don't usually have people cry because they have the warranty. They cry because they didn't get a warranty.
There you go. I like that.
Yeah. It's actually, we say it's important to have because it's protecting the homeowner from one of their biggest investments ever. So a lot of times you're working with first-time home buyers. They have no extra cash. They've put it all into the house. And then the last thing they want to do is move into something and something breaks and they have no money to fix it. So that's where a home warranty comes in.
Okay.
We are the founders in the industry. So We've been around since 1971. So we're not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere. But we do cover basically the main systems and the appliances in a house that breaks from normal wear and tear. And we have several plans. There's actually 2 different divisions with American Home Shield. So we have direct to consumer, where anybody can call up and get a home warranty. And then we have the real estate plan, which they usually get at the close of a sale of a house.
Okay, well, that was one of my questions.
Mhm.
Okay, so you beat me to the punch.
All right. I
So
like that.
you can get a home warranty even after you've bought. You can get it, not just getting it at the closing.
You can. The pricing's a little bit different, and
Right.
you have to wait 30 days if you're not actually doing a real estate sale. So
Is there an inspection involved?
no, we never ask for inspection. Some home warranty companies do. We
Right.
never, ever ask for an inspection. So, and that brings me
Interesting.
to the point of some of the things with American Home Shield that makes us special is that we don't exclude for lack of maintenance. So if you never, ever clean your air unit and it dies, or you never change your filter and it dies, we still will come out. Even if it's your fault because you didn't maintain it, we'll still come out and fix it. We also will cover unknown pre-existing conditions. Some companies will not do that. So if you tell us you didn't know it was working, if you didn't know it was broken, we'll
Right.
cover it for you. So we're not going to
Fantastic.
deny that. And then, as we mentioned before, hot water heaters. So we talked about last
Mm-hmm.
time when I mentioned to you, do you flush your hot water heater? And you all looked at me like most people do, like I have
What?
3 heads. Yeah.
Right.
If you don't do that, then sediment builds up in the hot water heater, and that's the number one cause of failure. A lot of companies will not cover it if they find sediment, but we do. We do cover that. So.
So that's the second time in about 2 months that she's told me that.
Mhm.
And have you flushed
And
your
I,
hot water
I
heater?
haven't flushed my hot
But he
water
has a home
heater.
warranty, right?
I still do.
See?
Absolutely. I do.
Oh, then don't worry about it.
Well, it
Don't
depends.
worry about
What depends?
It depends. You know what, Sherry, if you're listening, go ahead and start flushing the hot water heater, please, dear.
And send photos. Go live on Facebook.
So what all does the home warranty cover? So if I'm buying a new house, I'm getting a home warranty, what peace of mind do I now have?
Well, we have different plans, like I was saying. So we have the basic plan that just covers the main systems, and that is the air, the heat, plumbing, hot water heater, ductwork, and electrical. Then we have the next plan that covers the main systems and the appliances.
Right.
And then we have the top of the line plan that's going to cover your main systems, appliances, and then all the other bells and whistles like your doorbell, your garage door opener, your
Literally bells and whistles.
bells and whistles. Yes.
Right.
Ceiling fans. Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay. So do you suggest that for a brand new home?
Yeah, you can. Most of the time, builders, though, will offer, if it's a new construction,
Right.
they will offer that first year of a home warranty. So we do have the new construction warranties that covers year 2 through 5. And it's very reasonable. For the basic plan, it's like $800.
Right.
And then that just covers years 2 through 5. You won't have to worry about it for the rest of those years. And as we know, appliances are not made to last like they used to. I mean, we're seeing dishwashers break in 3 years. So it's good to have that coverage.
And guess how long I've been in my house?
About 3 years.
3 years. in August, it was 3 years. And it was a brand new home.
And you
Absolutely.
still haven't flushed
And
your
I
hot
still
water heater.
haven't flushed my hot water
We need
heater.
to make sure he does that.
You know what? We need to write it down because I tend to just forget. So somebody new calls me and I forget.
But if you have American Home Shield, you don't have to worry about it, because if there's sediment and it dies, then we will still cover that for you.
I honestly, and I've been in this 19 years, I did not know that you could buy a home warranty after the fact.
You sure can.
Can people buy a 2-year plan?
We do have 2-year plans, and it saves about $150 if you buy the 2-year plan up front.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, are these things, how often can you renew this? Let's say we bought this home. Either the seller provided it for us, or the realtor bought it for us, or I bought it. How many times can I renew this policy?
You can renew it every year, unless there's something crazy that goes on and you've filed 400 claims one year. We may decide, okay, something's happening, but otherwise you can renew it every year.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And we don't care how old your house is. We're going to cover you. We don't care how old your systems are. If it's 50 years old, we don't care. We'll never ask for the age. It doesn't matter.
Beautiful.
So
that is fantastic.
And then we also have seller's coverage. I don't know if you're familiar with seller's coverage, but when a house is listed, the last thing a seller wants is to have to put any more money into it. They just want to get rid of it, right? So we have seller's coverage that you can put on during the listing term. There's a small fee with it if the house closes. If the house doesn't close the seller doesn't pay anything, even if they've used it. But it basically covers just the main systems, those heat, air, hot water heater, plumbing, electrical, and ductwork.
So if you sell your house, you haven't flushed your hot water heater. It's gonna cover it.
Now, wait a minute. Okay.
Okay.
I love being surprised, and I love learning something new. Okay. What a sales tactic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What a great.
It is. You can advertise that it's already been under this warranty. Then you give the buyer kind of this reassurance that nothing's wrong with the house. It helps the seller too. It protects them a little bit so that someone can't come back and say, well, you didn't disclose that. You knew about it all along. You didn't disclose it, because they would have had it fixed with a home warranty. Now there are limits. There's a $2,000 limit that we have on ours, which is one of the higher ones. But yeah, it protects that seller from any more out-of-pocket money, which is nice.
Did you know this?
I don't know. So if a seller has an inspection, but they have this, is it going to cover what the inspection may find?
Well, the good thing about American Home Shield is, yes, we will. If it's one of those main systems, yes, that's a good way to mitigate any problems during that home inspection. Now, some other warranty companies will not. If you have an inspection and something's found, then you have to have it fixed first before they'll come back out. But we'll fix it.
Beth, this is fantastic. This is exciting.
This is why I love this job and this company. It's fantastic.
I mean, that's fantastic news. We need to get that out to all of our realtor partners.
Mm-hmm.
They need to know this, because I did not know that. I mean, can I ask what type of fee we're talking about? Is that proper to ask?
It's $75 for ours. So that covers them during the whole listing period. But if the house doesn't close, they never have to pay that.
So it's paid at closing?
It's paid at closing. Mm-hmm.
And there's a $2,000 limit.
Yes.
Guys, you're listening to Mortgage Sense with Kevin, a common sense approach to mortgages, and you're on Nooga Radio 92.7. And I've got two beautiful Beths with me today. And I love my job today. I seriously love my job today. But if you just heard what I just heard, that is incredible. And I'm being dead serious. I think we need to do something together to let our listing agents, because we work with listing agents and we work with buyers agents. A lot of them do the same. Excuse me.
So do they have to get it? Can I ask a quick question? Do they have to get it when they first listed, or if my house is for sale right now and I'm listening, can I go ahead and add this to it?
Sure. Anytime during the listing period.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, and then we have sign writers for the agents showing that, it comes with a home warranty. We have all this stuff. So, yeah, it's a great program. That's why I love it.
No wonder you're killing it. I love it.
You know what? There's realtors out there right now that are listening are probably thinking, okay, what's her number? So go ahead and give us your number real quickly.
Yes.
Okay,
they're all pulled over just waiting for it.
Absolutely. I would love to. It's 865-279-9885. Or real estate agents can actually go on and order online at pro.ahs.com.
And if you're listening, you're driving and you just can't write that down, you can also go to our website, which is blairsmilesteam.com. She is listed under our professional partners.
Absolutely. And if you want more information about us, period, the blairsmilesteam.com, it's not just about mortgages. There's so much going on in our city. There's so much. We've got a passport to Chattanooga that's got links to restaurants. It's got links to city government. It's got links to schools, everything. There's so much more and more about the Blair Smiles team than just mortgages. Lady, I'm in shock right now.
And there's actually something else too that we haven't mentioned on this show either, which I've heard you talk about, is your Rekey program. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we started Rekey in February, and it goes on all of our packages, any plan. But basically, at the day of close, the new homeowner can call up the service number, the 800 number. They pay a $75 trade service fee, and we'll send someone out to rekey up to 6 locks, and we'll leave them 4 identical keys. So we have a lot of agents that are also buying that the day before and giving it to their clients as a closing gift. I mean, everybody wants their house rekeyed anyway,
definitely.
Right? And they can use that as many times as they want to during that year. So it doesn't just have to be at closing. They can, if they switch homeowner or housekeepers or whatever, they can rekey it again.
I always ask this question, and it's the toughest question I ask. But I think you've answered it.
Yep.
I think you've answered it. There's how many different companies do you compete against?
Gosh, no, I have no idea. Some are online. We haven't even met them, but I would say, there's basically 3 big ones that
Okay.
we compete against.
All right. So there's probably 200 lenders in Chattanooga. There's probably 2,500 agents, probably 1,800 active agents.
Yeah.
Okay. And we always talk about what makes us different, and we have to have a wow factor. Okay. We have to do things different. And lady, you've answered the question.
Well,
I mean,
good. Well, we have other things coming down the pipeline too that we're excited about. I don't know, you probably haven't heard yet, but we had typically, in the past, we were under ServiceMaster. We were under that umbrella. We just did a spinoff. And so now we have our own parent company called Front Door. It's traded publicly. We have a new president who came from Lyft and Amazon, and he is fantastic. Rex Tibbins, he is all about customer service. And we're actually going to expand some to be more of a home service company along with the home warranty. So we have things coming down the pipeline like, hanging the smart TVs for the $75 service fee. We're going to offer possibly like house cleaning for the $45 or $75 service fee. I mean, we've got all this really cool stuff coming down the pipeline in 2019 that we're real excited about too.
there's a reason we're talking to her, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. And oh my gosh, when I got my house, we had to hang our smart TV.
Oh,
it was
it's a pain.
a lot more expensive. No, we paid Best Buy to do it.
Oh, goodness.
And it was a lot more expensive.
It was a lot
than
more than
$75.
$75.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we've got a lot of things. Even with smart home technology, we're looking at maybe offering the home warranties that include all the Nest and all that smart home technology too.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome.
Would you do me a favor?
Sure.
Would you stay? Yeah, maybe.
I said sure, and then I thought about it. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, wait a minute.
yeah, don't answer yes too quick.
Especially after lunch today.
Would you stick around in our next segment?
Sure. I'd be
Because
glad to.
with your experience, okay, then don't bring up math because you'll embarrass me.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
He's the numbers guy.
I'm a numbers
I can't do the new
geek.
math now anyway.
I'm a numbers
Common Core.
geek. Oh, let's not talk about Common Core. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I have 4 kids.
We'll have to start a new show for that.
It's gonna be Moms Against Common Core.
That's right. That's right.
Moms for Common Sense.
Stick around because with your background in real estate and what you're doing, you'll add some value to our mortgage segment. And when we're talking about our mortgage segment, give the listeners out there. I want to make sure they know your number.
Okay, it's 865-279-9885.
Okay, and the website.
For real estate agents, it's pro.ahs.com.
Fantastic.
And what about homeowners? If I'm a homeowner, is it best just to call you, or is there also a website?
They can call me, or they can go to just ahs.com.
Unbelievable, lady. I'm in shock.
Well, good. I'm glad.
I really am.
See, I've been keeping all that
You've
from
been
you, so I could throw that on you today.
And,
so you'd be in
and
shock.
you asked me not to surprise you, and you surprised me, and it actually made me a little quiet. And that never happens. That never happens. Well, Beth, tell us about the Blair Smiles team and the best way to reach us. We've only got 1 or 2 ways, right?
Or 20. You can reach us. You can call us at 423-488-7571, or you can visit our website at blairsmilesteam.com. Right there, you can apply online or make an appointment with Kevin Blair or Stacy Miles. Or if you would like some more information, you can text the keyword Kevin. That is KEVIN to 57711. You are with Mortgage Sense with Kevin right here on Nuga Radio 92.7. When we come back, we'll be talking mortgages, and we will continue to talk with special guest Beth Kelly with America Home Shield. Again, you're listening to Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. You can give us a call at 423-488-7571, or of course visit us online at blairsmilesteam.com. Or you can find us on Facebook at Blair Smiles Team Element Funding. We'll be right back. You're listening to Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
All comments and representations are not necessarily the views of Element Funding and PRMI, Primary Residential Mortgage Incorporated, DBA. Element Funding NMLS number 3094. PRMI is an equal housing lender. Some products and services may not be available in all states. Credit and collateral are subject to approval. Terms and conditions apply. Programs, rates, terms, and conditions are subject to change and are subject to borrower's qualification. This is not a commitment to lend. North Carolina Commissioner of Banks L12833. South Carolina Department of Consumer Affairs MLS 3094. Georgia Department of Banking and Finance 6521. And Tennessee Department of Financial Institutions 109289.
92.7 Nuga Radio.
Buying a home is one of the most exciting things you will ever do, but it can also be scary and nerve-wracking. I'm Melanie Moore, owner and certified master inspector with Full Disclosure Property Inspection. Let me help calm those nerves by putting my 37 plus years of experience in the construction and inspection industry to work for you, providing you a thorough, well-explained quality inspection to make sure this home of your dreams doesn't become your nightmare. Call me, Melanie Moore, at 255-1300 or find me online at fdhomeinspection.com.
The Blair Smiles team of Element Funding is your complete resource for all things Chattanooga mortgage. Kevin Blair, Stacy Miles, and the rest of the team work to provide the highest quality and best service found in Chattanooga. And they work by the motto, when we say you're approved, you can start packing. Call them anytime, 423-488-7571. Be sure to ask about their no closing cost program. They can offer up to 100% financing. For more information and useful tools, visit their website, blairsmilesteam.com, and MLS number 151159.
This is Valerie Epstein of Milligan Reynolds Guarantee Title Company. Locally and independently owned, we've been in business on Cherry Street in downtown Chattanooga for 80 years. When quality matters, our team of 3 attorneys is able to navigate complex commercial and residential real estate deals more quickly, even within 24 hours for cash deals. Let us show you how to save money with a 1031 exchange. Ask your realtor to write us into your sales contract or visit us online at milliganreynolds.com.
Life is complicated. The Salto Agency is simple. And that's something very good to know in a world where insurance decisions are all too complicated. Taylor Salto and his team at Farmers Insurance will work with you to identify the insurance coverage that best suits your needs and provide a custom tailored solution to your home, life, auto, or business insurance. At the Salto Agency, you can get all your insurance in one simple location. Let the Salto Agency provide peace of mind so that you know that you and your family will be cared for properly. Stop by their new office today at 6229 Vance Road, Suite 115. You can reach the Salto Agency online at saltoinsurance.com. That's SOLTAU insurance.com. Let Taylor Salto at Farmers Insurance make your life a little simpler today. Farmers Insurance, the Salto Agency, custom tailored insurance.
Hi, my name is James, and today I want to tell you about Pediatric Dentistry of Chattanooga. That means they only treat kids. Fun fact. Did you know that a dentist for kids goes to school 2 years longer than a regular dentist? When I see my dentist, I get to play games. When my teeth are clean, I get to pick out a toy to take home. I love toys. You really should see my dentist. It is fun.
As a realtor, you can easily protect both your buyers and sellers with a home warranty. Hi, I'm Beth Kelly with American Home Shield. We're the founders and leaders of the home warranty industry with more than 45 years of experience. American Home Shield has a network of over 14,000 contractors to respond to your clients' unexpected breakdowns. We even offer a rekey service with all buyers' warranties at no additional cost. Find out more about all that American Home Shield has to offer and find us online at ahs.com.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
Police made an arrest in an armed robbery case from back in August where reports say a man broke into a storage unit office, threatened a man at the cash register, then made off with a few rolls of pennies before escaping in a Grand Am. Police used fingerprint information to arrest Kerry Williams, who was already in their system. A man was shot and robbed on Bonnie Oaks Drive on Friday morning. The victim told the police he was approached by 4 different men with guns pointed at him who demanded his money. And once he handed it over, they shot him. He was left for dead on the side of the road. A 27-year-old man sits in Hamilton County Jail after a victim says that he burst into his hotel room, stabbed him, stole his watch and money from his shoe. Matthew Scott Cohen and alleged accomplice Shanna Saltzer both taken into custody. Police say the victim of the stabbing still in the hospital. The John Hannity Show weekdays 3 to 6. Russell Stroud, Chattanooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Expect fair skies to continue through your nighttime. Cool again overnight with some late clouds, lows 50 to 53. For Sunday, increasing clouds. Can't rule out a sprinkle or spotty shower, but most of us will stay dry. Highs back into the 70s, upper 70s, a late shower possible Monday. The Wings Over North Georgia Air Show continues tomorrow, Sunday, at Rome's Russell Regional Airport, featuring the Air Force F-22 Raptor and A-10 Warthog. For tickets, wingsOverNorthGeorgia.com. And I'm Source 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Moore.
News Radio 92.7.
Hello again. This is Kevin Blair with Element Funding. Welcome back to Mortgage Sense with Kevin, a common sense approach to mortgages. You're on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM, and we are having a great afternoon. Hello, Beth.
Hello.
Is that the right way to say it? Beth?
I think so.
Or Beth squared? You know, I'm telling you, what a great day.
Beth 1 and Beth 2.
Well, no.
That's why I call her Beth Kelly. I call her by her full name.
Beth Kelly.
Yeah, she's somebody that you can trust who has 2 first names.
Absolutely. I was going to ask you, is that your last name? Or is that your middle name? I'm just kidding.
It's actually Charlotte Elizabeth Kelly. So I really have 4 names.
Charlotte Elizabeth Kelly. All right. Yes. So you go by Beth.
I go by Beth.
You go by Beth.
Apparently my parents didn't like me too much. They gave me the hardest name possible. So I have to explain where it came from.
Well.
But you know Elizabeth's the most popular female name of all time?
Is it really? Mm-hmm. Didn't know that.
Yeah, it goes all the way back to the Bible and it's still popular today.
Interesting.
Yep, I heard that on the radio somewhere. Probably on the station.
you are a plethora of just information.
I am.
I'm not sure if it's
it's good information.
It's
so
good
if you're
information.
pregnant
Absolutely.
and you have a daughter, name her Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
Keep it going. Well, you know what? Let's talk a little mortgages. How about? You know, we did our inaugural show last week and told people a little bit about us, told us about our team, told them about our team and about the different players on our team and the way that we do things. But we really want to dig in today about the way that and why the Blair Smiles team is different and how the Blair Smiles team is different. The way we do things, guys, is so, we talked about the 5 major things. Okay. We just happen to work in the industry where people buying the biggest investment that they have. And we take a really common sense, but we take a serious approach to the way we do things. And you not being a realtor anymore and being on that side of it, Beth, we do what we think is the correct way. Okay. And what I mean by that, when I sign mine, I sign every approval letter. Okay. And when we sign that approval letter, it is 100% approved. We go through 100% of everything. Okay. So when we talk about people wanting to buy a home, all right, every single day, I've got competition out there that will send out approval letters based on just pulling credit. Okay.
I used to see that too.
And it's crazy. That approval letter is not worth the paper it's written on.
And it has every type of disclaimer on there, including subject to verification of employment.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And there's 2 parts when it comes to a mortgage. It's your credit and your debt ratio. So why are approval letters going out just on half of what is required when it comes to a mortgage?
Absolutely. And so we get this question, and I'm looking at you like you're in trouble or something. But we get this question all the time: is, well, if we've got somebody that's out on the weekend, how do we get them approved if they're serious about buying a home? And that word "serious" is the key word, because if you are serious about buying a home, if you are serious about refinancing your home, okay, let's do it the right way. The domino effect that happens in this business, and it happens every single day. Just last week, you know what? Let's keep going because it's still tender. Okay. It's still,
I can tell.
It's, and I'll tell you the story because it's a sickening story. But the way we do things, we're going to get W-2s. We're going to get 30 days worth of pay stubs. We're going to get 2 years of W-2s. We're going to get 2 years tax returns. We're going to get bank statements. And then go ahead and throw your IDs in because we're going to need your IDs anyway. Okay. So we're getting everything up front. And you said something, Beth Mansell. Beth, number 1. Okay. You said something about a verification of employment. Okay. Sometimes when people work hourly, all right, they don't work 40 hours every single week. Sometimes they get 37. Sometimes they get 42. Sometimes they get 36. Sometimes they take sick leave. And it just doesn't always work out to where they get 40 hours a week. So you can't just, because you ask everybody, how many hours a week do you work? Well, I work 40.
40.
All right. So the pay stubs come in and they don't add up. So we go ahead and get what is called a verification of employment first. Most companies, in fact, the company that we work for, in their process that they have, they don't order that verification of employment until the loan is in underwriting. You know what? What I like about what they did for us, what Element did for us, is we have a system in place. Okay. And so even within our own company, even within our own company, they don't do things the way we do things. And when they brought us on, they knew about our volume. They knew about our success rate. Beth, we've only had 2 loans turned down in underwriting, and we're approaching 2,000 loans.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's
So when
amazing.
we say you're approved, you're approved. But even our own company doesn't go by the way that we do in the standards that Stacy Miles and I have put in place to get loans approved. So is it a little slower? Maybe. Is it too slow for you not to be able to make an offer? Not
Nope.
at all. Okay. If you're serious, if you are serious about buying a home and it's on a Sunday afternoon, now unless the Cowboys are on, I probably won't answer my phone.
But I'll answer. I'm not a Cowboys fan, so the phone rings to me first on Sundays.
What did you just say? You're fired. You're not a Cowboys fan?
I'm sorry. I'm not really an NFL fan.
Okay. That's another show too.
No, not because of that. I just like college football. We're in the South. I mean, if you're in the North, you like the NFL. If you're in the South, you like college football.
Well, okay, I'll buy that, but
Have the Cowboys been winning any?
yeah,
And I like the Cowboys.
you
It's
know,
just-
they
it's more fun
lost.
when
They lost
win.
this weekend. So yeah, I'll take your calls on Sunday now. Okay. At the end of the day, I'll take your calls on Sunday because I'd rather work than watch them get beat again.
If I had to choose, I'd say Falcons. I'm from
but-
Atlanta.
Okay, we'll go with that. But the point is, if somebody is, you don't just wake up on Saturday or a Sunday morning and say, I want to go buy a house. All right. You know that you're thinking about buying a home. Okay. So now if you're thinking about buying a home, get pre-approved, get pre-qualified before you start looking. And I'm going to say something else because we see this every day. If you're thinking about selling your home, even if you're thinking about selling your home and you're going to buy another one, go through the approval process before you list your home.
Especially in today's market.
Guys, I cannot tell you how many times it happens where people sell their homes and cannot get approved to buy another home.
And let's give a couple examples of what can happen if you just get pre-approved and you go under contract based off your credit, what things can come up when your income docks. Like, for example, you could have a loan or a payment that you're making every month that did not show up on your credit, but yet it shows up every month on your bank statements.
Absolutely.
Which can all set in what? Increase your debt ratio and kill your loan.
Kill a deal. Okay. So the most common one is child support.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There are people, and that's why we ask for the two months of bank statements, because we go through those line by line to see if there are any debts that show up. So let's say our debt ratio is really close. You didn't tell me that you've been divorced. You didn't tell me that you're paying child support. Okay. Because not everybody tells you. Okay. When you start filling out the application, we find out, and there's things that we see that we know. So we have to start asking questions. We want to get those questions done early before the process, because, and let's say you're paying child support. We see that, we have to ask, we have to add that to your debt ratio. So if we're really close, that could put you over the debt ratio ceiling, and that loan is dead.
And then there's also student loans. I know we had a customer who thought they were approved for a $500,000 house from another lender, and the realtor told them to shop around. And we found out that their student loan payments were not showing on the credit report.
That's
But
right.
what happens with student loans, Kevin?
Student loans have to be paid. All right. But we all know they have to be paid. But here's the thing, they can be in deferment. All right. But our laws say, and I'm not talking about element funding, I'm talking about FHA, Fannie Mae, the governing bodies, we have to count a portion of that payment towards your debt. Okay. Because we know that debt is going to be coming and due. So let's say you just graduated from college and you've got that 6 months before you start making, and that credit report says 0 payments, and you've got a $15,000 balance. I've got to count $150 a month for debt.
And that gentleman was a doctor who had just graduated from medical school, got a great job at Erlanger, if I remember correctly.
You're remembering very.
And he thought he was pre-approved for a $500,000 house, but based off his debt ratio, 800 credit scores, he could really only get approved like a $180,000 house. These are all things that had he gone under contract, he would have put earnest money down. He would have paid for an appraisal, paid for the inspection, and bam, this is what happens. And guess who's going to get blamed? The lender and the realtor.
Get blamed for it.
Which
Okay?
if they would have done it right up front, things like this won't happen.
And it's all about knowing the guidelines. Okay. And the guidelines change every single day. So what we do, it's not just Kevin Blair. I mean, I've got a great group of people in my office that make me look really good. Okay. Because of their knowledge in this business, but they also really, really care. And when I say that Stacy Miles and I set this program up 10 years ago about the way, because we have managed people and saw the way this business is and made a decision that there's a right way to do it. So let's just do it the right way, because it's not going to slow you down, because your approval is good for 120 days. But how strong is it to be able to go out on that Sunday afternoon, find that dream house, make the offer, and our realtor partners know, and our clients, our customers know that they really can buy a house.
And if you are selling your house, do you want an approval? Do you want someone buying your house that
great
is
point.
only